Hi, this is Faith, and you are watching The Faith Factor. Holla.
All right, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. This is Faith, and you are watching The Faith Factor. All right. I want to get down to the nitty gritty of the conversation because everybody is talking about this. This is a hot topic. Everybody wants to know, is Princella's theory that men are not capable of love valid? And already we got one man in the chat room, Demetrius Agashikata. What's going on, Demetrius? He says emphatically, no, they're not. It's not a valid theory. And I'm here because I'm on the fence with this. You know, if anybody's been to this channel or been here any amount of time, you know that faith is fair. I try to be balanced in my opinions. I try to be fair to everyone involved. I am, however, a Princella supporter. I do support her. Now, just because I support somebody doesn't mean that I blindly support. So faith is not a blind Princella supporter. There are a lot of things that Princella says in her commentary that I do not agree with. No, I have not read the book. Okay, I do go to her channel. I do listen to her. I'm an avid listener. I've been to her channel several occasions. So, yeah, I listen to every live stream. So, I do support. I am also, part of the membership. So, I have, I think that I have a grasp on what her content is about by now. So the only thing that I have a problem with Princella, well, actually, there's a few things with Princella that I have a problem with, but there's more things that I agree with that she talks about than I have a problem with. Now, as far as her being in the space, I think that her opinion is valid just like everybody else's. I do. If everybody else can be on this thing and spew out what it is that they feel and what their opinion is, Princella can too. She has every right to do so. But just like everybody can spill out their opinion and be critiqued about it, I think that Princella is not above scrutiny. So we can scrutinize her book, we can scrutinize her talking points. She's not above scrutiny. And as a supporter of Princella, I do critique and I do scrutinize a lot of things that I hear her say that I don't agree with. Because, like I said, I'm a supporter, but I'm not a blind supporter. I tell people that come to my channel, I don't want you coming to my channel blindly just agreeing with everything that I say. I welcome you challenging me because that helps me grow. I think that when you're in an echo chamber, nobody actually grows. It takes many, many thoughts, many, many minds. Two heads are better than one. That's my theory on life. So if you come in here and you don't agree with me, I'm not going to kick you out and I'm not going to be mad at you because I don't have an echo chamber here and I don't promote that. But I will say this as far as Princella's theory, and this is just the faith factors take on it. The faith factors. I believe that men are capable of love. It's just that I don't believe that men are capable of love the way that we as women want them to love. They can't love like we love. And I do believe that men and women do love differently. So it's not that they can't. I just don't think that they can love the way we want them to love. And I also think that it's very difficult for them to develop feelings of love. Feelings of love come easy for us as women because we're nurturers by nature. But for men, it's a little bit more complicated. So this is the reason why you will find men that have multiple baby mamas and they won't do anything for their children, but they might have that one baby mama that they might have a little bit more favor for. So they might be more favorable to her and favorable to those children that he has with her. So men are selective, very selective when it comes to love, and they don't do it freely like most women do. And I say most because there are some women that act like they've been raised by wolves out here too. But now, here's the thing. Princella has this theory that men are not capable of love, but I've also heard Princella say that there are very few men that are capable of love. She has said this on numerous occasions, but for some reason people misinterpret her saying that men are not capable of love as her saying all men. But as adults, I don't think that we should have to get into the some not all thing. And Princella doesn't get into that either. She does explain that there are men that are capable of love, but there are very few. The other day I was listening to her channel. She had a gentleman up there and she played a clip of a man. See, Princella uses a lot of how can I say theories. She uses a lot of talking points that she gets directly from men. And so she had a man up here on a video that she was playing back to us. And in that video, that man that was speaking said out of his own mouth that he knows as a man he's not capable of loving like women want men to love. And he said there are very few men that know how. So this is a man, and he's saying the exact same thing that Princella is saying. And she's given many, many examples of men who are actually in agreement with what she's saying. Now, I don't know why, Princella is causing such a big stir. I guess because she's the next big thing on social media. But you got everybody, especially men, and all up in an uproar about her talking points. Now, I'll be the first one to say I'm not really crazy about her presentation of her talking points because there's a lot of things that I don't think that she's well read on as she says she is. And this is just from my lay woman's point of view. Now, if I'm a lay woman and I can pick up that you don't really know certain things, then that means that more study is needed. And there are certain things that she's breaking down and she's not doing it correctly. And if I can pick up on it, people that are even more astute and who have more credentials are definitely going to pick up on it. And this is where people are poking holes in her book. They're poking holes in her talking point. And that is Princella's fault. And she needs to hold that L and take accountability and responsibility for that, because she put out a product in that book which from what I hear was very poorly edited. But I'm not a stickler for editing because, like I said, it is what it is. She did not say that she was a writer. Princella's not a writer. She's not a therapist. She's not a scientist. She never said she was any of these things. What she did say is that she has a lot of personal life experience. She's dealt with a lot of men. She's worked in a lot of male-dominated industries. And so, therefore, with her personal life experiences, along with the studies that she's done, she has come up with this theory that she is erroneously trying to push off as fact. But it's a theory that men are incapable of love. Now, I think that she would be better off as saying that this is a theory rather than passing it off as fact. But, I'm not going to split hairs on that. There are certain things where, it's just not important to even make it an argument. But the main point is she has this theory. And now we have to examine, is there any validity to this. And I'm going to say that there is some validity to what she's saying, but just flat out saying that men are not capable of love, period, is just flat out wrong. Let's see. I am pretty damn gangster. What's going on? I haven't seen you in a while. She says, love is as unique as the fingerprint to everyone, in my opinion. Exactly. It is unique. But, Princella, when I go to her channel, she does a lot of talking about biology. And she tries to help women understand the psychology of men by using biological facts. And I like that she does this, but the only thing is that she uses these so-called biological facts, but she's not explaining it correctly. She's not explaining it correctly at all. So when I'm listening to Princella talk about the effects of testosterone on men, for example, she's sitting here talking about how testosterone makes men crazy, it makes them violent, it makes them, do things that, to women that are detrimental. And I agree with her that testosterone does kick in that fight or flight mechanism in men. That is the reason why before a boxer goes into the ring, or before, men do any type of aggressive contact sport, they will tell these men not to have sex with their girlfriends because it depletes their testosterone levels. So they tell men, hey, go in there with the full force, because that high level of testosterone, that kicks in their ability to have a high level of fight or flight. So I agree with that. It does make them a little bit more aggressive. But as far as the ability to love and the aggressiveness, that testosterone level has absolutely nothing to do with a man's ability to love. And this is where she loses me with her, going into science and biology and all of this. And she didn't really study it. Now, there are real clinical psychologists that have studied the biology of love. And love is a feeling. It's a strong affection. It requires both positive and negative aspects, such as patience and sacrifice. It's one of the most powerful emotions that a person can feel. And it can make people do things they never thought possible. It can help them overcome any obstacle. It is a feeling of strong affection and typically requires both positive and negative aspects, such as patience and understanding. It is not just a feeling, but an emotion that is often expressed through actions such as giving gifts, taking care of somebody, or simply spending time together. But what does it mean to be a man and in love? Because I do believe that men are capable of love. For some men, love might mean being protective and always being there for their partner. And for others, it might mean being passionate and never being afraid to show your feelings. The softer side, what matters most is that you are true to yourself and you own your definition of what it means to be a man in love. And if you're honest with yourself and you're open, then you're on the right track. Now, how do men fall in love? There's not one answer to describe how all men fall in love. It could be as different and unique as each individual man, or there are some generalizations that can be made about how many men seem to fall in love. Typically, men tend to fall in love with a woman that they see as a challenge. And I can't express this more. Men fall in love with a woman that they view as a challenge, someone that they have to work for and earn. Men are also more likely to be attracted to a woman who is confident and has strong sense of self. And this is the same thing that Russell Wilson said about Sierra. He said that the main thing that he liked about Sierra was that she was independent. But people sleep on that. They sleep on it. Another key factor for many men is physical attraction. You're not going to get around it, ladies. Ladies, you're not going to get around it. Men love physical attraction. She needs to be beautiful both inside and out. When it comes to falling in love, that is. Now, physical attraction, that's just lust. But when it comes to falling in love, the man also has to like you. So it can't all be about physical attraction. Some women fall to one extreme to the other. Some women be like, oh, I'm fan and this, that, and the other. Well, just because you fan don't mean that he gonna love you. He can lust you. He can want to have sex with you, and he probably will have sex with you until the cows and moon come home. But that doesn't mean that man is gonna love you. And the same thing with women on the other end. Well, it looks don't matter. I got a great personality. Well, you have a great personality, but you got a big old fat behind and a stomach to match. And he's not attracted to that. So you can be good and you can be nice all you want, but you're not, checking the points off in the attraction category. Attraction is important to men. When it comes to falling in love, timing is everything for men. They often know almost immediately if they're interested in you as a woman. And they will make their move quickly if they are interested. I know this from personal experience. Like I said, I've been proposed to numerous times. Numerous times. Men falling in love right away. They know. And when a man falls in love, there's certain signs that he'll show that he's attracted to you. And these signs they vary from person to person, but they are all clues that the man is interested in you romantically. And if a man shows you any of these signs, it's important to take notice and respond in a way that makes him feel appreciated. That's if you're interested in him as well. So one of the most important signs are, and this is just a short list. Okay, he starts paying more attention to your every move and tells you how much he enjoys your company. That's one sign that the man likes you. Another sign is he becomes very protective of you and he'll do anything to keep you safe. I've had this before too. This is a woman that knows what love is from a man. I can tell you these things. Another sign, he becomes very passionate about spending time with you, and he wants nothing more than to be with you. Another sign that he's falling in love with you is that he becomes jealous and possessive when you're not around or when other men are around. I've had this happen to me on numerous occasions. My my boyfriend will become jealous just because I have male friends. They become very jealous. They become very possessive. He starts to show interest in everything that you do. He starts supporting your YouTube channel, sending you those super chats, editing your video, etc., etc. Things that you're interested in, he's interested in. He becomes attentive and wants to spend time with you. And lastly, he becomes more creative and expressive in his relationship with you. So these are just some of the things that I've jotted down, signs that a man might be falling in love with you. Now, what I want to delve into is some of the, hold on a second, I made some notes here. and I'm sitting up here like can't get my notes together. Sorry guys. I thought I was organized and I'm not organized. Let me get my whole life together here. Hold on. Okay. All right. So another misconception is people do not understand about the biology and the chemistry about how men fall in love. What is love? What is attraction? What are the hormones that are involved? And see, Princella talks about testosterone ad nauseum as if this is the only thing that men function off of. And this is not true. There are three basic categories or stages of romantic love. First stage is lust, that's sex drive, and this is for both men and women. And lust is not love. It shouldn't be mistaken for it. Lust is driven primarily by hormones. Um, let's see, testosterone in men and estrogen in women. That's what lust is driven by. And it's a temporary feeling driven by a desire for sexual gratification that enables you to find potential mating partners. And it's based on an evolutionary need to reproduce, and that is common in all living species. Now, you could lust for somebody that you're in love with, but you could also lust and have sex with someone that you don't love. So that's the reason why lust is one component of love, but it's a very small, insignificant component of it. The next component is attraction. And with attraction, let me go back up into my notes here. Hold on a second. I'm just all scatterbox all over the place. So attraction is romantic love. Now, during this stage, you focus your attention on mating, and you focus your energy and your attention on just one person. So you're obsessing over this person. You think about them. You crave their company. You feel a surge of extra energy and excitement when you see them. And these feelings are caused by three chemicals: norepinephrine, dopamine, and serotonin. That these are what scientists call the addiction hormones because it activates the brain's reward center, and it has powerful effects on our behavior and our emotions, and it usually lasts about 6 months to 2 years. So when you're in the attraction phase coupled with lust, that is what you call the infatuation stage. And like I said, infatuation stage can last anywhere between 6 months all the way to 2 years of infatuation. So this is the reason why they tell people not to run and jump into a commitment with somebody right away, like marriage. Because you could be thinking it's love because you get all these warm, fuzzy feelings and it feels like love, but it's actually infatuation and it's short term. So you give it a little bit of time, a year, maybe two, to see if the infatuation wears off. Now, the third component of love is attachment. And that's where the long term love comes in. And this is a key stage to the success of long term relationships. And it's a calmer form of love that affects us differently compared to just the lust and the attraction stage. When you get into the attachment stage, and that happens after about 4 years of being in a relationship, the dopamine level decreases and the attraction goes down. Yes, you actually become less attracted to the person that you're with the longer you're together. And if things are going well, dopamine gets replaced by two hormones, oxytocin and vasopressin. They create the desire to bond with your partner and nurture them. The attachment phase allows couples to stay together long enough to raise children, develop a deep, meaningful bond, grow old together, And in this stage, this is what we call the contentment stage. So it's not that you're attracted or that you're in lust with each other at this stage. You've been together 4 years, you're content. So love usually begins at stage 2, attraction, and progresses to stage 3, attachment. But lust is what drives many couples to meet and form a bond, which can later lead to love. And it's possible in some cases for couples to skip stage 2 and go straight to stage 3, such as in arranged marriages. Now, how do men fall in love? There are certain neurotransmitters and hormones that need to build up over time before a man or woman falls in love. Now, there's a love biologist by the name of Don Maslar. And according to Don Maslar, the chemicals dopamine and vasopressin. Remember these two chemicals because these are vital for a man to start falling in love. Whereas oxytocin and dopamine is vital for a woman to fall in love. Now, oxytocin is often the nickname, it's called the love or cuddle hormone. That's the nickname for oxytocin. It plays an important role in men as well, but this is at a later stage. When men are dating but not yet in love with you, the testosterone levels are higher, which blocks the bonding effects of oxytocin. Let me say that again. For all of you ladies, I need you to listen. Oxytocin is the love hormone. This is the hormone that is responsible for men being more bonded to you, loyal to you, and wanting to protect you. This is the hormone that basically makes them think that you're the only woman in the world and they wouldn't even want to cheat on you. Oxytocin is the hormone that kicks all of those feelings and emotions in for men. So it is an important role in men, but it happens at a later stage. When men are dating you, but they're not yet in love with you yet, their testosterone levels are high. And because the testosterone levels are high, testosterone is a hormone that blocks the bonding effects of oxytocin. So, what does this mean? Well, let's look at this for a second. Does sex make a man fall in love? A common misconception is that men fall in love in the bedroom, right? Because there's a lot of women out here throwing pussy around like frisbees because they think that the WAP, if they just put it on them, that's going to make them fall in love. Well, this is wrong, damn wrong. Okay, according to Maslar, he believes that some men may lose interest in sex if sex happens too quickly. So a woman may bond closely to a man after sex in the early dating stages, but men won't necessarily reciprocate those feelings right away. And here's why. And I need you ladies to take notes because you're going to ask me this later on, or you're going to be wondering what happened later on. And I'm going to tell you the faith factor tried to break it down to a science, and y'all didn't listen. But a man's dopamine and vasopressin increase when they're dating a woman and they're enjoying your company and they're sexually interested in you. That means their dick is hard. They want to fuck, okay? I'm going to just put it in layman's terms. But as soon as you give them the pussy, the vasopressin level drops when they have sex with you. Okay? So once that vasopressin level drops, they lose interest. Therefore, they're not going to stick around long enough to form a bond with you. On the flip side, a woman's dopamine and oxytocin will also gradually increase. If we're enjoying dating a man, we're sexually attracted to the man, However, the difference between men and women is that a woman's oxytocin, that's the love hormone that makes us bond to our man, to the mate. That, remember I told you, oxytocin is the love hormone. A woman's oxytocin rises considerably when we orgasm. So now, if you had sex with a guy, and he didn't make you come, you safe. But if you orgasm, your oxytocin level will rise, and then you on the hook. However, for him, if you didn't make him wait, or give him a chance to bond with you, he might not be there with you in the bonding process. You'll probably be there by yourself. So he done got what he wanted. Now he gone. He bounced. Now you on the hook. You calling him. You texting him, and now you're mad because he ain't answering your phone calls. Cause your dumb behind gave him sex too fast. Now your oxytocin levels are high, and basically he done just turned you out. You out here lost and turned out. So I'm trying to give it to you, in terms that some of y'all can understand. Let me go outside my notes and see what you guys are saying here, because I know y'all probably chatting it up here. Uh-oh. Yeah, y'all late, Cassandra Brown. Y'all late. What's up, Skinny Y? I am pretty damn gangster says men first were nurtured by the women or the mom. Mm-hmm. Yes, Skinny Y is agreeing with me. He says men definitely know immediately if they're in love with a woman for the most part. Let's see here. All right, so I'm just catching up with your comments. I'm going to go on with my commentary because I believe that some of y'all really, really need to get this lesson tonight. Y'all really need to get it. And I'm going to hammer it home. So now I'm going to go into the Coolidge effect. Okay. The Coolidge effect is a biological phenomenon. It's observed in animals whereby males progressively lose interest in mating with the same female. Yet they have a heightened sexual interest in new females. So this is what is called the Coolidge effect in animals. And it's believed that the Coolidge effect can sometimes come into play when sex happens too quickly. The Coolidge effect is a biological phenomenon observed in animals whereby males progressively lose interest in mating with the same female, yet have heightened sexual interest in new females. And Maslow explains that when a man first starts dating, they are very, very excited. Their dopamine and vasopressin goes up. But if they are satiated sexually too quickly, it drops back down. Therefore, a man may lose interest, pursue other women, and not be around long enough to fall in love with you, ladies. So that is the reason why your grandmamas, your mamas, all the old women kept telling y'all little behinds, hey, take it slow. Don't give it up too soon. Because you got to give the man time to bond with you. And like I said, that oxytocin, which is the love hormone that makes a man loyal, that don't kick in until he has spent time pining over you with his hard ass dick, trying to, get the goods. And see, with him pining over you, trying to get the goods, he's bonding with you, he's doing things for you, and he's developing feelings. But a man does not develop feelings right away. It takes a little bit of time for those feelings to kick in. So you got to give it time. Don't give it up too quick. Because if you give it up too quick, his vasopressin levels are low. And now he's got what he's wanted, and he's gone. Now, I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen every time. There are, other situations and nuances that come into play, but I'm just giving you the biological effects. So do with this information what you will, okay? Don't say I never did nothing for y'all. But anyway, now studies show that men in committed romantic relationships have 21% lower testosterone than men who are not. And see, this is the stuff that Princella is not going over with you. She's like skipping around it. So I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. 21% of men in committed, studies show that men in committed relationships have 21% lower testosterone than men who are not. That means that when a man commits, their testosterone level will no longer be blocking the bonding hormone oxytocin. So this will help them fall in love and develop a long-term bond with you. So when the testosterone level drops, that oxytocin can kick in, and then this will allow him to bond with you and develop feelings of love. But this happens over time, ladies. So that's the reason why, it's a good idea not to give it up right away. So, remember that 30-day rule or that 90-day rule that we used to have? There's a reason for that. If the man is sticking with you through the 30-day rule or the 90-day rule, he really, really like your behind if he's there that long. Because most guys, they not going to put up with it. They gonna get gone. And basically, you holding out in and of itself is the weed out process. The study also showed that marriage is not a defining factor, as both married and unmarried men can be in committed relationships and experience lower testosterone. So just having a marriage license is not going to be, an indicator of whether or not a man is going to be committed to you. There are some men that will marry a woman and not love her. They're marrying her because they need her, or she's a trophy wife, or she's serving some sort of purpose, but he doesn't actually love her. So therefore, the hormone oxytocin is not going to drop down for him. He's going to still have a high level of testosterone because he doesn't really have any feelings for the woman that he's with. That's the reason why you have so many married men running out here cheating on their wives. They still have that high level of testosterone and they're still searching. So when a man's testosterone level drops after committing to someone, it doesn't mean that they will experience diminished sex drive. That's another misconception. It's only a 21% drop. So it has no bearing on their sex drive at all. But what they should lose is the interest in pursuing sex from other women, because the love hormone oxytocin makes them hone in on you and you only. So they will not want to be bonded with anybody else but you when that oxytocin kicks in. So this was the science. This was the science. And see, I think that this is what Princella was talking about when she was saying that men are not capable of love. And that's the reason why I said earlier in my spiel that there might be a there. It's not that men are incapable of love. It's just that it's a lot harder to get a man to fall in love with you. And so if you are a woman and you've never experienced love from a man, it's probably because you have not run into a man that would fall in love with you. Or you gave men too much time that didn't care about you. You wasted too much time on the wrong man. But the thing that I really don't like about Princella and this whole men are incapable of love thing is that it kind of takes responsibility off of the women. And here's why. So you got a lot of these women who are femcells over there in her chat room. And they're sitting up here going, oh, thank you, Princella. I knew it wasn't me. I knew that the reason why I couldn't find a man to love me is it wasn't because I'm 400 pounds and I never want to go to the gym. It's because these men are incapable of love. Oh, Princella, thank you. I know it wasn't me. I thought that I had a funky attitude. But you know what? It's not my funky attitude. It's just that these men are incapable of love. This is what I don't like about her movie. Because it lets a lot of these women off the hook that really, really need to do some soul searching within themselves. That maybe, just maybe, the reason why you haven't met a man and created a bond with this man is because maybe, just maybe, there's something going on with you. Right, Northern Belle. She says, right, it's definitely important not to waste time with the wrong man. And see, we as women, we got to be responsible for that. Hey, if you never experienced a man, it's just like all them years Tina Turner was in that abusive relationship with Ike. All them years she's sitting up there slaving and dancing on the stage and giving him hit records and making him all this money and taking care of his children. She was a stepmama before she even got out of high school. All the time she wasted with this fool. Who fault was that? Who fault that Ike made her eat the cake, Anna Mae? Who fault was that? Who fault that she stuck around and stuck around and stuck around, getting pushed downstairs and getting hit in cabs and got to get up and perform after she's in the hospital after she done fell out? What's up, Information Man Show? Peace and respect to you too. Check out Information Man, guys. I'm telling y'all, it was a tragedy that Tina Turner was with an asshole like Ike Turner, but who kept going back? When she was in that restaurant and Ike made her eat that damn cake, didn't her friend say, hey, Ike, this is crazy? And then she looked at Tina and she said, Tina, you gonna take this? And Tina was sitting up there trying to cop pleas for Ike. Whose fault is it that she wasted so much time with goddamn Ike? It's Tina's fault, y'all. And see, this is where me and Princella part ways. Because she take too much accountability off the women with this whole men are incapable of love bullshit. I see all the women, because like I said, I'm a supporter of hers. Hey, I got a membership on the channel and everything, but I'm not a blind supporter. I'm in the chat room, I'm listening to everything, and I'm seeing the women and what they're saying down there in the chat room. And they're down there soaking up all of the not taking responsibility for their own situation. Trauma bonding. Oh, girl, I can't stand these men. It was so much better to be with women. I see the women that's in there, talking about lesbianism. And they might be legit lesbians. I don't know. All I know is I know a lot of lesbians that got pregnant. Don't know how they got pregnant, but they said they were legit lesbians. I'm just saying. So I take all of that with a grain of salt. All this talk of, ooh, I'm going to get with other women and all this other stuff. I don't even know why these women sit up there and lie to themselves. I don't know why. Hell, I done caught Princella going flip flopping back and forth. 1 minute, she with the pussy. Next minute, it looked like she back on the dick. I've seen the flip flop back and forth. And even she kind of, alludes to it. She said, I'm not a lesbian. I just date women. So basically what she's saying is she's expanded her options, guys. So Princella then basically took expanding the options to a whole nother level. That's basically what she's doing. What she's saying is, hey, you don't have to just date black men. As a matter of fact, you can date men of all races. But I'm gonna just tell you, all men, majority of them are incapable of love. So you might want to expand your options to women too. This is what she's doing. Now, she's not saying that you gotta be with women, but she's saying that this is another option. So basically, Princella done took expanding your options to the next level. That's what she did. And see, this is what people are not talking about. They're not talking about this next level of expanding the options. Yes, ladies, Princella's on this expand your options thing, but she's surpassing dating out the race. She's surpassing that. She's like, okay, you can expand your options and let's date women too. Let's not leave women off the table. That's what she's saying. I don't have a problem with her message, by the way. I'm just explaining what she's saying and making it plain and making it clear to everybody. This is what she's doing. She's on expanding your options 2.0. This is what Princella is on. Northern Belle says, I'm leaving any man alone if he's making me want to be a lesbian. Exactly. What's up, Mella? What's up? Mella says, I think she's crazy. Demetrius Higashikata says, I mean, she's right. Those ladies are better off eating that box, but not for the reason you think. Ooh, Demetrius, that's interesting. That's pretty damn interesting. But okay, guys, I have said my spiel. I have made my presentation of what I think it is. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link down there in the chat room for anybody that has been here for the last 45 minutes listening to me rant and rave about my take on Princella and her theory that men are not capable of love. If you want to come up here and you have anything that you want to say about the title, anything that you want to say about anything that I've brought up here, you can hit that link and you can come up and we can discuss it. But that's it in a nutshell. Princella has basically taken expanding the options to a whole nother level. So basically, she's saying that because so many men are incapable of love, ladies, you have to understand the psychology of these men. That's the reason why she breaks down a lot of the biological differences between men and women. She talks ad nauseum about testosterone. She hasn't broken it down the way I've broken it down as far as like the other hormones that interact with it. But that's it in a nutshell. That's the reason why I said there's a there. It's not that men are not
capable of love. Men are capable of love, but it's just a little bit more difficult to get them in a space where they are ready to love you. It's a lot more difficult. And like I said, if you think that giving up the WAP early on in the courting process or in the dating process is going to get them to love you faster, you're wrong. It has nothing to do with that. As a matter of fact, the faster you give it up, the faster they lose interest. If you want a man to build some type of bond with you, you're going to make him wait with his hard ass dick. Yes, you are. As a matter of fact, tease him a little. Yeah, tease him. Let him follow you around with his hard ass penis and make him think he might get it, and then don't give it to him. Okay? Just don't give it to him. Continue to make him wait. Make him wait until he has blue balls. Make him wait, god damn it, until that goddamn penis is so hard it's gonna fall off. Make his ass fucking wait. Your mamas, your grandmamas, your aunties, all the older women in the family told you this. Or if they didn't tell you this, then they might have been some 304s. But Faith is here. Mama Faith, Sister Faith, whatever you need me to be, is here. And I'm telling you, if you give it up too soon, you're pretty much putting the nail in the coffin that this guy is not coming back. If you want to get a guy hooked, if you really, really want to establish a bond, you're going to go through the getting to know you process. And I know a lot of you don't want to do that because we have these popcorn, what do you call it, relationships going on here. Everybody wants everything fast, fast, fast. But that's the long and the short of it. What's up, Demetrius? I see you here.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. So, yeah, I disagree with her statement like men are incapable of falling in love. I think men are more careful about it because one too many effed up women will screw you up if you let it, and a lot of men end up letting it win in the end. Um, and we have the manosphere as a, I don't want to say case study, but as confirmation. There's a lot of jaded men.
Absolutely. I agree
Um,
with
I'll also say this. Uh, what was one of your points? Like one of my points was, yeah, she's right. Those ladies are better off eating the box, but not for the reasons that you think. It's just to be honest, I don't think those ladies in the chat ever really liked men in to begin with.
you. That's an interesting angle. So you're saying that they were already lesbians?
They were already on the fence. They were already bi. They were bi, just waiting to happen. They're bi curious, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Cause I said that too. I said, can't nobody just make you become a lesbian and want to start getting down munching on carpets. I mean, if you want to munch on some carpets, that means you've been wanting to do that. You've been wanting to
Well,
do it,
I've
or
heard something from women, and I don't know how true this is, but apparently a lot of women have their first kiss from another girl. Apparently.
really?
Apparently it's more common than you think. Apparently she was telling me about these sleepovers that they used to have, and she had her first kiss from a girl, and she said it's more common than you think. So
That is that's pretty interesting.
why? Because Princella says most women are bi.
Well, I mean, you know what? I can agree with that. I think that most women are bi because I look at how women, like to size up other women. Women do more booty watching than men. I believe. I
I
do
know
believe.
a lot of it is sus. A lot of it is sus. I've seen it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I catch myself doing it too, but it's not for because I want to be with that woman or anything. I think women are always sizing each other up. We're always doing that sort of thing. So we're looking at each other. We're looking each other up and down. We're looking at the butt, the body, the shoes, what kind of clothes she's wearing, what kind of bag she's rocking, or her hairstyle, the makeup. We're very very we like to assess each other. So I don't think that it has anything to do with that. It's just that we're very competitive when it comes to that.
Now, what do you think of my talking point there, where I said most women are probably better off. Most of the women in her chat are better off eating bar.
Well, if you're talking about in her chat, I would agree.
Okay, that's all I was really saying. I wasn't saying ladies in general, but it's mainly like the ladies in her chat, her fans, because I don't know, it's like the way they speak, they don't really like men for real. Because
Yeah, because I've been over there in her chat, and like I said, that's the other thing that kind of make me uncomfortable to go over there because I'm a heterosexual woman. So I'm in the chat room and I'm like rocking with her on some of her talking points, and then all of a sudden somebody will be down in the chat room talking about some. Ooh, Princella, you look so sexy today. I just want to eat you up, and all this other crazy stuff. And I'm sitting up here. I'm heterosexual, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, uh, yeah, this is really killing the vibe for me. So that's the only thing. It's just kind of like can straight women and lesbian women coexist in the same space with each other? And I'm finding it very
no, because black
very
gay men and black straight men don't coexist in the same space.
yeah, yeah. And see that's a given for men. Like men make it pretty plain. Like if you all are heterosexual and then there's a gay guy in there talking about, ooh man, that guy really made me hard and all this other stuff. Like
We'll be like, hey, chill out, chill out, chill out. Chill out.
right, and that's kind of like how I was feeling over there in Princella's chat because the women was in there and we were vabbing, talking about the topic, and then it turned into some. It always goes into some lesbian stuff, and that's when my stomach started turning. And I got to get the hell out of there.
Well, I would say the chat room is showing its sexuality then. That's who
Yeah,
those
so
women always were. Because another content creator art like asked me like, do you feel like she's turning women out? And if you gay, you gay. I don't know what else to tell you. You were
right,
already on the fence. Like, can't no dude make me like dudes. If you gay, you're gay.
Exactly. What's up,
Hey,
Mella?
Mela.
Hey, what's poppin'? What's poppin'? I know my tape is on, so my image not coming up. I'm trying to press the cam part, but it won't turn off for
Try
some
holding
reason.
it.
Okay.
Because I've been having a similar issue with like the
Yeah,
chat
see,
button.
that's how they get you, right? It's like before you know it, you've been then cammed up and they be like, okay, now I'm gonna look up the database of everything and find her ass. But I appreciate you, Faith, for having this late night live stream for those of us that have been beating off niggas all day. And, you know, we are in the habit of kicking the Willy Bobos with y'all. Thank you, Faith. I'm sure she's coming back. But I can't say that I've listened to the 45 minutes. What I can say is I caught enough to contribute something called, something in the field of psychology, right? Can y'all hear
Okay.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So in the field of psychology, there's something called task switching that I think Princella or whatever she calls herself is not making people aware of purposefully. I believe that it is her intention to gather as many people uh, to form this congregation for her benefit, for the benefit of her ego and her pocketbook. And that's what she's on. It's like it's a money grab, just like anybody else. It's a money grab. Because if she is well versed in psychology, as I've heard she claims she is, then
I don't think so.
she knows what task switching is. And so why isn't she, since she cares so much about her audience, why isn't she affording them these psychological terms that will enlighten people to the fact that it is possible to change um, your yourself. I'll just put it like that, because I'm not trying to speak as an expert, but it's the deceit for me. It's like, okay, you want to actually make it seem like you care about women and where they're going and what they're doing, but you're not informing them about anything other than you have limited choices. That's what you're informing women. You're informing women that they have limited choices. So thereby you're not really trying to educate anybody. You're trying to make sure that they stay focused on you. And that's
Exactly.
manipulative.
You hit the nail on the head, Mella, because that's what I saw too. I saw a lot of ego. Now, when she first came out and she was just talking about the psychology of men, she kind of put me in the mind of Cynthia G, because I felt that Cynthia G was a necessary evil. And like Woman Sphere said this over and over again. There was a time where women's voices needed to be heard, because these men were coming on here running us through the ringer for like a whole decade. So we needed women like Cynthia G and Crystal and Carrison and Chrissy and all the others, Brooklyn Blue. We needed those women at that time. But what Princella is doing now, I don't know if she's trying to recruit women to go on this lesbian thing. She says she's not. So I'll just take her at her word. But I'm wondering what's the end game to all this trauma bonding and all
Right.
this lesbian stuff that's
You
going
know
on in
she
her
calls
chat
herself
room.
a pimp, right?
Well, that's that. I mean,
She's trying to pimp these women out.
well, it's really unfortunate on so many levels. For those who are actually in a a fog of confusion about their sexuality. For those who are in a fog of confusion, like they could go either way, and it just takes one greedy bitch, you know, to just make them flip that switch when they probably should have went uh, a more natural route. You know,
Yeah,
it's
because that's what I'm thinking. Like,
terrible.
there's a lot of
When I think of
impressionable.
pimps, I think about somebody that's telling you that they're manipulative, and if you fall for it, it's your fault.
Right. But there's a lot of manipulative people out here. And like you said, it's somebody could be right there on the edge. Like, I might actually be lesbian. They might be ready to jump off the cliff. They go over there in Princella's chat room. That's it. That's it. They going over.
That is so sad. There are a lot of women that are in a state of their lives where they're like a feather in the wind, so to speak, a leaf in the wind. They just the right amount of manipulation can get them on the wrong path that is so difficult to reroute. And I just I'm not saying that I believe in predestination, but sometimes when people look back on their lives, they realize that they had to walk certain unfortunate paths. And that's when you come across people that you look back on. It's like, well, how the hell did I end up here? That type of attitude, right? And I know your live stream isn't about predestination, but I'm just saying, like, for women who are on the fence and they find themselves there, and she's a self-declared pimp, and they still view, they still stick and stay, maybe they're destined to uh experience her manipulation. Maybe that's their destiny.
What I think Princella has done is she's concocted this cocktail that includes saying men don't love you or they're incapable of love, and you can expand your options to not just being with men but also being with women, or you can just be by yourself. That's an option too that she has.
It's like Demetrius said, she's a pimp. She's a
Yeah.
self-declared pimp. That's all you need to hear. When somebody tells you who they are, believe them. And if so I don't know what else to say after that.
No, I mean, both of you are right. But here's the thing, there are some women that do need to hear some of the things that she says over there in that chat room. Like I said, I'll be over there, I'll be vibing with what she's saying. She'll be flowing, telling the absolute truth about the psychology of men. Like, she'll be on point. And it's not even that she's bashing, because she doesn't do any male bashing, even though she's talking about the psychology of men. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, some gay shit will happen. And I mean, I can't even describe it. It just be out the motherfucking blue. And I'll
You know,
just be like, wait a minute, I was just over here vabbing, and I was like, man, we was all touching and agreeing, and
I'm
now
glad
this
you
gay shit didn't happen.
I'm glad you said that vibing part. Let's understand the frequency of how we um gravitate towards something that's pleasant for us to hear, right? It's no secret that people are attracted to certain types of voices. Their cadence, their tone. There's just something rhythmic about it. It's like a lullaby, but you don't really want to identify that you're being hypnotized by a voice, because that would make you seem like a sucker. But in actuality, I think if I had to call it out, because I don't really, I've heard everything that I'm aware of about her through content creators, third party. Like, so I'm this is third party, but so they would play some of her clips. I'm like, she has a
She's
very hypnotic voice. Like,
Yeah,
her
she
voice
sounds
is,
like a minister.
well, it's a little
Oh,
deeper
that's
than that.
crazy because it works on y'all. Oh, that's
It's
crazy.
it's a little deeper than that, and there's a certain frequency that some people yearn for, and she has the voice to captivate people that unconsciously are aware that they yearn for that type of voice, if you can believe what I'm saying.
Yeah, I can believe what you're saying, because I know exactly what you're talking about, because it's very hypnotic. As a matter of fact, I was on one of them live streams where she did this thing. It was very, very crazy. She started playing this rainwater music with the little tones in the background, like tone 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 tone, in the rainwater. And then she just started doing this guided meditation with the group. This is the first time I had ever seen anything like it. But do you know, it was relaxing as hell? It actually freaking worked.
And
I fell asleep.
that's how
I
they
fell
get you.
asleep.
That's how they
Yeah.
get you. You know. So so how do we compartmentalize this, right? This I fell asleep listening to her voice, and all of a sudden I got to keep up with her live streams type of attitude that some people obviously have. Um,
But that would be me. I'm raising my hand.
it
Yes.
it, it I, I'll get straight to the nitty gritty. It ain't that serious. Like, she's not the only person in the world that has a hypnotic voice that can come up with all types of, meditative, um, chants, not chants, but whatever the hell she's doing that you've mentioned. She's not the only person in the world capable of doing that. You can, not you, but specific people who might find themselves um, entranced by that. There are other options that is not trying to, you know, declare themselves as a pimp. That's all I'm saying. Like, like that. That's like Demetrius just really turned me on with that. I said, "Wow." So she's getting away with declaring herself as a pimp, and she's popular for that. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying, Mela. Like,
That's crazy.
I understand on one hand there is a subsect of her audience who are in dire circumstances and questioning their sexuality, but let's not forget this: these are grown ass women, older than me, double my age, with
So
sons, no less.
And
yeah, that's true. That is true. But there's also a lot of young women that I noticed that call into her show, and they're very impressionable. And like Mela said, they're on that cusp. I heard a phone call with this one girl, and she was like all of like 21 or 22 or something like that. And
oh
she was like,
no.
Princella, I needed some advice because I'm going through an issue with my girlfriend. And then they got into this whole zodiac thing, which I still don't understand the zodiac thing. I've never been into that. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
Princella asked her what her sign was and what the other girl's sign was, and oh well, you guys are not pitted to be together because you're air and this person is earth, and I don't know what the hell this shit was about. But anyway, the girl was talking about being with another girl, and she's only in her 20s. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like I said, you be in there, you be listening to her, and she be talking about some stuff that makes some good sense, and everybody's vibing. Then some gay shit will happen. I mean, oh Lord.
Yeah, a lot of people are users out there, like even lesbians and homosexual gay people, like guys, like they, you'll find rarely that they are together for reasons that lead to life partnership. What because how can I put this? I have a relative who through marriage, and she, after years of being abused by men, she just found herself with a wife, right? Um, and so they were together for a number of years, like a long time, but eventually they broke up when the person came into a large sum of money. When they came into a large sum of money, all of a sudden there was, this, I don't think this is working out type of conversation. And I was like, wow. So, and prior to that, there was some domestic violence going on between them, and really, like, she was really into her as long as she was useful. So what I'm saying is, I think, if I could say so concisely, I think it all comes down to narcissism. It doesn't matter whether you're gay or straight. If you're a narcissist, you're going to look for an opportunity to find someone that's useful. And I think what Princella, based on these third party commentaries that people are given, I think she's emphasizing, don't let them use you, you use them, and I'm going to teach you how by using you first. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. All right. Well, I see that we have more people that then came up on the panel. I see Hustler and Muscular, and Spade has entered the room. So I'm going to go ahead and let Hustler and Muscular give his thoughts and opinions, and then we'll move over to Spade. What's going on, Hustler and Muscular?
You may speak.
We can't hear you, man.
We can't hear you, Hustler. All right. Well, Hustler and Muscular is having some mic issues. Maybe if he goes out and comes back in, maybe the mic will work. But while we're waiting on Hustler and Muscular, we're going to move over to Mr. Spade. What's going on, Mr. Spade?
Hey, what's going on, Faye? Hey, what's going on, everybody on the panel? So to answer the question of the title, I know I came late. Is Princella's theory that men are not capable of love valid? I'm going to say no, because on her Instagram, she has that Nikola Tesla, a man, holds women in high regard, which to me would be love, and place them on a pedestal for their unique qualities. Then she said society's evolution has shifted that admiration to fear as women grow more similar to men. So laws that provide equality and equity to women, which is positive, has been misplaced as negative, because the better a woman's life is, the more others will fear. And when it boils down to it, just that illogical way of thinking that's associated with all the Princella's content, including her book, it shows that the only way you truly can follow her is if you view her teachings like a religion. Just like with people sitting in church, and if someone's religious or they have faith-based belief system, I'm not trying to offend you or anything, but just like with church, how you go to church, you sit in there, you hear the singing, people are dancing, they're having a good time. It makes you feel good, and it gives you inspiration. And it's real easy to poke holes in the Bible and point to inconsistencies, hypocrisy, and the logic being broken down in that book. But people believe in that because they want to believe in something greater than themselves, just like with Priscilla and her followers. And to me, just like the Princess Kevin Samuels, who passed away, it's almost like the princess was reincarnated as Princella, and we're dealing with the same thing that we dealt with him in the manosphere now with Princella. And it's a shame that people can't see it. And I know that a lot of people, they like to have a good time, they want to vibe, but understand that things that she does, like has her tones, like you all had mentioned before, is similar to like hearing the good news, like in church, and hearing stuff that motivates you, like inspirational speakers like Les Brown, T.D. Jakes, Eric Thomas, Joel Osteen. The hypnotic trance that a lot of people are being put in, it makes it to where you're almost being lulled to sleep. And sooner or later, you're going to start having conversations with people and quoting Princella because you've been programmed. And when people call into her show, and even when she does panels, one thing that she does is she becomes a Baptist preacher, and she yells when you question her historical tragedies and stuff like that. And she has like two modes: the Baptist preacher, and she has the other one where she talks real fast, and she's rude, condescending, and she tries to overtalk you. Especially if you're debunking what she's saying, she'll say, "Oh, well, you just come up here to argue. Just come up here to argue."
No,
And
I think she has more than two modes. I've also seen the smooth pimp mode where she gets to talking to the women, and she thinks she's macking. I've seen that mode too.
okay,
You gotta
well,
believe in me, baby.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
you think it's effective?
Hey, it's got to be, because these women are in that chat room eating it up.
Well, I think that a lot of people, they have mental illness. And just like how people go to church to be quote unquote healed as opposed to going to a hospital, it's the same thing with YouTube. People come here, they're hurt, they're broken. They've heard conversations on panels that make them feel some type of way. And when they go to Priscilla and she's saying things that sound good to them, has the right tone, and she pushes the right buttons, it makes people fall for her and somewhat becoming like a trance, like the Pied Piper. So I don't. I know she's into the lesbian thing, but I think that women who also engage in that, they were lesbian to begin with, and it's
What did I
unfortunate.
say?
Oh, say again.
No, I said the exact same thing.
I
It's like
agree
if you
too.
gay, you gay.
Yeah, I think so too. If you gay, you gay. You just wanted to
There's
have an excuse.
you just wanted an excuse. If that's what you do, don't blame nobody because that's what you wanted to do. Like people don't hold themselves responsible for the decisions they make about their sexuality, and it's just ridiculous. It's like you could say that a woman is beautiful without actually wanting to have sex with her. Like that is a thing. Like you can a man can uh say that, oh my god, he got muscles, I can't wait till I get muscles, or maybe I'll never get muscles, but either way he got that's what we have eyes for. We can observe what's alluring, attractive, handsome, beautiful, all that, without wanting to have sex with the same gender. We can do that. And what it would appear is that people are being convinced that if there's something alluring about somebody in the same gender, then maybe underneath you want to have sex with them, and that's not the case. That's a fallacy.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
it's always been socially acceptable for
Oh
women.
wait, hustler muscler, drop down. Come back, hustler muscler. I was just about to go to get to you, but anyway, what was we talking about? Oh yeah, yeah.
Ace was in mid sentence.
Was Ace? I mean Spade.
Oh, I'm sorry, Spade.
No, I was just saying that it's always been socially acceptable for women to be lesbian. So a lot of women, they experiment, they have fun, and it's just socially acceptable for women to do that. And I think that a lot of women have experimented in their younger years, and they just kind of carried it on to, Princella and her
I
chat.
haven't.
You've never experimented?
No.
Me and he and I are on the same wavelength.
Like
We making the same point.
he said a lot of them. I was like, no,
Wow.
Well, I mean, so you've never kissed
Hey,
a woman?
hey, Mella, hold on
no.
now. Hold
I've
on now. It
never
was a woman
kissed
who
a
told me
woman.
that.
I've never kissed a woman. Um, I'm trying to figure out what's the most I've ever physically, because I've never imagined a woman like doing me. Like I've never fantasized. So I'm trying.
So that time that you was on the panel, I forget that woman that you was on the panel with,
Uh huh.
and you was talking that sexual stuff to her. You was just playing.
You gotta specify the time.
Oh, girl, this was a long time ago. God damn.
Like, what the fuck was that about? Like, what? When did
But
that happen?
I remember it was a long time ago,
You sure it
and
was
y'all,
me?
yeah, it was you.
Because the only person I ever had a conflict with was Trinity, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was Trinity, and y'all
Yeah,
was going back and
and
forth, exchanging
that that was a
pleasantries about each
hold on,
other.
no, that was a conflict because what Trinity was attempting to do was befriend me on a level that I wasn't interested in, and so it became a constant uh banter. Like there was a lot of banter back and forth about it. I mean, we went. I remember, she, but what turned
Was it
me.
lesbian banter?
Say what?
Was it lesbian banter?
No, it wasn't. It was really really spooky because it was like she is a person that has self confessed that she experienced what she's experienced sexually with other women, and when she tried to befriend me, I was like, look, I'm not trying to be a friend with a person that is, went down on women and kissed women and did stuff with I'm not trying, and I don't mean to sound prejudiced. I'm just saying that's not my
No,
idea of a
I
friend.
think you were that wasn't it because this what I'm talking about.
Then
I think you might have
eventually
been
it got
playing.
to the point where, it just became a skit. Like it's like, okay, she won't. she won't stop. So let me go ahead and, make this humorous for the audience that's listening.
Yeah, that's probably what I was hearing because I could have sworn it because it was sounding gay as hell. I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, she stayed tripping when it came to that, and I was just like, you know what? It's not like I'm getting ready to get off the panel, so let me go ahead and conduct some
So
skit.
you was just playing. It was a skit.
It was a skit. Like it, like no, I'm not going that way. Like period. So yeah, I've done a lot of like I remember the game changer and my interaction. That was a skit, like kiss the pussy nigga, kiss the pussy nigga. Like, I do it, I conduct a lot of performative things when I converse with
It's socially
people.
acceptable for you to do that. See, a man wouldn't do something like that.
No, like
Yeah, it would be like,
when
hey,
men
hey, don't
when
play
men
like
do
that with
it,
me.
yeah,
No,
when
we
men do it,
don't.
that's not cool. So I see
All
your
right.
point.
Well, Hustler and Bustler is back up, so this would be a great way to change the subject from the gay stuff. What's up, Hustler?
Nothing much. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
All right, good to know. And for the record, no, we men don't do that to each other. That's just not cool. Maybe y'all ladies can get away with that, but we men could never get away with that. No, 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 no. That ain't happening.
Right. There was a couple of guys that tried to get away with it, but they still get clowned to this day. What's that guy's name? Woke Progressive. Woke Progressive.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Ain't he crazy?
When did that happen?
Yeah.
And he's for real about it. But then he wants to act like he's been delivered. and I don't know.
He'll
That's
be
a lot of
No.
delivered
crazy people on
by hell.
YouTube.
Didn't he get caught some kind of way naked, on the stream one time?
He was trying to show Taz his Johnson.
Wow.
What?
Hmm.
On a live stream?
And that is not rumor.
Well, if I could jump in, I know we wanted to get away from the gay stuff. So to me, what Priscilla does is a us versus them type of thought process, in that us being women are against them being men. And you could tell because of on her Instagram, she says every woman is a queen or an indentured servant working towards freedom, and men have enslaved every woman. So she's taking away from a woman's agency to be happy with their lives. And if you disagree with her, it's because you don't believe you are a slave and you are okay with being one. And just that us versus them, they did that back in the 1950s with different groups, including Black people, where they would make different posters of Black people making us look scary to make white people afraid of us. They even had cartoons.
Propaganda.
Yeah.
Exactly. Disney participated in that. And so the illustration of doing that to different groups, what it does is it dehumanizes people, and it makes it to where you're okay with things being done to them, like having them hang from, well, I'm not gonna say that, I'm gonna say have them as strange fruit, if you know what that term means. And so Priscilla's doing that with men. She's making it seem like all men are not human. We're at the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which if you understand that philosophical theory or the psychological concept, you know that it's impossible for all men to be at the very bottom, because we all have some form of money. We're not destitute. So she takes different concepts and bastardizes it to make it us versus them. And again, people who follow her and they're like, oh, I rock with her, I'm a fan of her, I support her, understand that you're basically supporting the same mindset that had people joining, I'm going to say people in the white robes a long time ago. I don't want to say the actual words. I don't want fake stuff to get demonetized. You're following that same thought process, and you're no different than people who were in the manosphere and people who were following Kevin Samuels and believing that rhetoric that all women were bad. You can't marry any woman. All women are not marriage worthy, not wife material. Get your passport, so on, so forth. And her IG also says that male nature is that men are wired to compete, and any perceived threat to a man's superiority sparks fear, and a woman succeeding in claiming spaces traditionally held by men is a disaster. She incorrectly assumes that the normality of distressing over losing a job. So I don't work for corporate America. I don't have a job. But back when I used to work for corporate America and did work for myself, I used to have a real fear of losing my job, of being laid off, losing my livelihood, not being able to pay bills and feed my family. So she's saying that fear that everybody has when employed is abnormal, and that's the reason why women are better or better off without men.
Well,
And
hell, I've had that fear plenty of times. Like, what does that make me?
well, right, exactly. So based off of Priscilla's thought process, you as a woman would be better off as a man, because you as a woman getting more resources, opportunities, etc., would make you somewhat of a disaster in the eyes of others, and the only other would be men. And all that possibility of losing livelihood as seen as being abnormal, it's a part of the us versus them mindset and those 1950s talking points.
For me, right? I'm not really understanding the lack of discussion regarding intimacy, right? When it comes to someone understanding you and loving you and being committed to you, when a man provides that to a woman, it's a beautiful thing. It's like it's so inspirational and enveloping. And for somebody to just come across and say that men are not capable of loving is just it's just not true. Men are
Well,
capable of love.
she grew up in a
You
trauma
got to
of
be the right woman he want to love.
Exactly right.
Exactly. Yeah.
We have to be careful who we love. We can't just love anybody and everybody up in here, you know.
But that's what I was explaining earlier of when I got into the science of it. When men finally do develop the love hormone oxytocin, it is over time. And it's over time after you've gotten through the getting to know you stage. And in that getting to know you stage, that man has to decide whether or not you're worthy of his love. And that's if he likes you. If he doesn't like you, then he's not going to love you.
Right. If he don't like you, you will get stuck with a fuck. And that's it.
Actually,
He
Mhm.
he
gone.
can't.
That's it.
He can like you and not love you. He can like you physically, sexually, but not love you.
Yeah, when a
well,
man loves, he loves for real.
Yep.
the first
I've
love
had
that a
plenty that I liked but never loved.
the first love that a girl experiences is from her father. So based off of what's been in Priscilla's book and what she said about her past, she grew up with just nothing but trauma. Her mom had her and was thinking that Priscilla will love her, and that's the reason why she had Priscilla. And then Priscilla has said that she's been abused by men in ways that are unique to her gender. So Priscilla has never felt what love is, and she probably has never gotten therapy to help her with those wounds. And in time, those wounds, that trauma, is more than likely, in my opinion, has molded and shaped her thinking to where now she feels like all men are bad because the men that she has experienced has been involved with are bad. When she claimed that
Well,
she
I hope
50,000.
she's
Men that she
enjoying her
chose.
boatload of money that she's getting from these people. I hope she's enjoying her boatload of money. I mean, you know, people find hustles every day. She found one.
Well, Hustler, you said something interesting that I wanted to piggyback round to. You said that there were plenty of women that you liked but you didn't love. Because I think
Yep.
before a man can even love a woman, he has to like her.
Yeah. Well, you mean like as a person? Yeah. But again, a man can like
Yeah,
you
but I mean
physically,
the
but
women
don't have
that
to
you like
love you.
as a person, there are these women that you were romantically involved in or with, or I mean, because I'm not understanding that.
No, there was no romance. It was a mutual
Oh,
physical sexual attraction.
Okay, well that right there didn't have anything to do with it. You were just in stage 2.
And what's stage 2?
That's just attraction.
Okay.
You can love somebody and not like them.
Says who?
No, I'm serious. Like there's all look, there are all types of relationships in this world, and
How
sometimes
can you love somebody and not like them?
Wait, hold on. Can
okay,
you
I'll put it
love
this way.
somebody?
You can't you
When
Can
you're
can
you
married,
love
it's like
somebody but you want
you
to
can
beat their brains in?
no. You can dislike their ways. Like
I,
there are ways about them that
I
you don't
agree.
like. That
I
I
agree with
should,
Miller.
yeah, I want to say it like that. Like you can love somebody but not like their ways. I'll put it
I
that
think
way.
Okay. Okay,
I'm
that makes more sense. Okay.
Well, I agree with Mela because it's possible for you to be married to someone and you love them, but you can't stand them because of
You
things that
don't
they've
like
done,
their ways.
like their ways.
Maybe they
They
put the toilet
That
paper
don't
on the
sound
wrong
like
way.
love to me. What type of
It could
stuff
be
That's
y'all
that
got
black
going?
it's
love.
it could
other
be something. It could be petty stuff. It could be stuff like they
right,
don't put the toilet paper on the way you do. They
right.
don't, uh,
What?
they don't do the toothpaste the way you do. Like
Mhm.
because they don't do stuff the way you do it, you don't like their ways, but you love them.
Exactly. Like they might
Possible.
not come, like they might not come home straight from work. They may go to other places like the bar, the mall, or wherever, and don't come straight home.
And
You
that's
may
not what you would do. So you
right.
don't like their ways, but you love them.
Okay,
Hmm.
it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I think I get what you guys are saying. But I think that you're gonna get that element in all relationships. It's gonna be something about everybody that you're not gonna like.
Ain't nobody perfect in this world, so yeah.
Right. You might stay together for the kids, whether you're married or just shacking up, and you love the father or mother of your child or children, but you can't really stand them. If you could, you would leave, but you're staying for the kids, and you do have love for the person, but
Like
you
if
are
your husband
Wait a
like to
minute. That
wear
this is the this once again. Okay, now I got to go back to that. Do not sound like love. That sounds like y'all just settling and putting up with each other.
like if your husband like to
Yep,
go to
that's what
bed
it
with
sounds
his
like.
socks on, right? And you you like to do footsies.
Huh?
You don't like that he wears socks to bed, but you're not gonna divorce him because he wears socks to bed.
No.
Yeah, but that's different than what Spade is saying. Spade is on some old, well, you know how you could be together with somebody and you might love them because they the mother of your child, but you can't wait until Junior get to be 18 so you can get the hell up out of there. But that don't sound
That's
like
what that
love.
sounds like to me.
I didn't say that. I was
Oh
saying that
well, yeah.
they love each other.
Suffering is different. Yeah.
Well,
Now
so I
don't
didn't say anything about
suffering is
suffering.
not love. Yeah, suffering is
I
not love.
know. I
Well, I
know
didn't
Gaz.
mention anything
I know
about
Gaz
suffering.
not going
I'm
through that.
saying I'm saying like it's people they love each other, but they may live in two separate rooms because they just don't like each other. Because
What?
like, yeah, it's
What the
possible.
hell kind of shit is that?
People do it all the time. They're married, they love each other, but they sleep in separate bedrooms.
Who
They
does
don't like.
that?
A lot of people do that.
Why get married in that case, man? Why get married to someone you
In
don't like or love or
no,
whatever?
okay, listen. In the beginning, you're in love. You like this person. I love you. I spend the rest of your life with you, with each other. Then by year like 15 or 20, it's different. You're no longer the young people you
Oh
were
man,
when
after
you got
20
married.
years, this is a trip.
Right, 20 years. You still love the person. You still want to spend your life with them, but you sleep in separate rooms because you don't like each other because of an argument you had. Somebody may have drunk your soda. You guys are arguing about it.
They cut your hair off when you asleep.
I don't know about
Okay,
that.
that's just cruel. Who does
I
that?
don't know about that.
And y'all say I got a sick man. Jeez.
Oh
No, but
my goodness.
you all know you all been to a funeral where someone passed away and somebody got up there and was like,
You said how mean they
I'm
are.
the son of such and such. I'm here to meet everybody. And it's just like, you didn't know whatchamacallit had a son or a daughter because they had this outside family. So they still love their wife, but they made this outside family. And,
Now
they're
I
just,
disagree with you. I just see I'm into the love should have brought you home last night type of mentality. Like, I don't think that you love your spouse if you cheat on. If you cheat on your spouse, you don't love them.
No, but it's worse when y'all ladies do it because y'all get emotionally attached to the cheating partner or whatever. We
Yeah,
don't do
but
that often.
nonetheless, when if you cheat on somebody, you don't love them. Period.
No, you don't.
Well, I think love is subjective and it's all about what's in someone's head. And I agree, cheating does ruin a relationship. However, there have been people who got cheated on and they stayed or went back to that person and
Because
they
they're
had a
stupid.
Why?
relationship. I mean, they might be stupid, but they did it. And in their minds, they're like, you know what? I forgive him. I forgive her. I love him. And it happens. And I know it's real easy to judge something that we've never been in, myself included. But there's a lot stranger things have happened. People do stuff like that, especially the older generation, where someone passes away and grandpa is showing up to his wife's funeral with his side chick, and that's
That's
what
just
he.
dirty.
It's dirty, but in his mind, he believes he still loves her, and it's just like, to me, it's horrible.
He loved what she did for him.
That
In the
too.
bedroom.
He didn't love her. He loved what she did for him. That's why he has this outside family, or vice versa. There are women that cheat on their husbands. Like, the husband is as pure as apple pie, but she cheats on him, and he forgives her. Next thing he's wondering, like he just puts up with nonsense, or she puts up with nonsense without realizing that there's a self-esteem problem there. Why are you allowing yourself to be hurt? You know, you can't do that. So grandpa showing up saying, "Yeah, I really loved her, and here's my side chick that I'm bringing to the funeral." He didn't love her. He loved what she did for him. That's what he loved.
In the bedroom.
Or whatever. Maybe she invested in. Maybe that's the reason why he's a business owner, because she invested in him. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, I love her. I love her. It's like, or she, the children that she gave birth to, they are impressive and proud worthy, and it's like, yeah, I love her. I love. No, you don't love her. You love how good she made you look, how good she made you feel. You know, you love how useful she was, or him. Because the shoe can be on the other foot. You
But
know,
it's still love.
people don't.
It's
That's why it's subjective,
right.
and
So it
and
still is.
and I'm
Okay,
confused why people don't understand what love is. You
they may
know,
have never experienced it.
I guess so.
Like with Princella, she grew up without a father, so she never had the love of a man. I don't know if she had any brothers, but from what Priscilla said about her tragic upbringing, she never experienced love. So to her, the only love that she could really understand and accept may be the love from a woman, because she was messed with and her thinking has been changed to where she feels that she's only attracted to women because she doesn't want to feel the same way she felt when she was violated. And that's understandable, especially if someone didn't get therapy, doesn't get help, or they become changed after their traumatic experience. So that's why, like for me, when they have the whole lesbian thing going on over there, I kind of understand. It's a shame though, because I think if people do go through something traumatic, instead of coming to the internet and trying to sell it to someone or sell it to people, they should go get help and understand what they experienced, understand it's not their fault, and become a whole person, and then give advice so they're
Those
not saying like
gay,
Prince.
those gay couples, be it men or women, they have a lot of strife going on in their relationships. Like, it's not a happy solution to be gay. They have strife going on in their relationships, from what I've seen. You
But
know,
there's a spiritual balance in those relationships. There's usually a masculine and a feminine one.
Yeah, but from
yeah, I guess.
But usually when people are, like that, they usually have a story of they've been messed with when they were younger. And it's unfortunate that being violated can make you turn to the same team as as yourself. And I think a lot of people should get mental help for their mental health instead of just giving in to urges and just thinking that it's normalized and it's okay. I'm not, we're not
Mhm.
putting down anybody who's LGBTQ or anything, because what you do is what you do. It's just that
Mm.
a lot of times people are making those choices because they went through some type of trauma, they didn't get help, they didn't talk to anybody, they they're doing what they do, and now they're coming online and they're selling videos, they're selling books, and they're saying something like unalive black male teddy bears, and then they're wondering why they got canceled, or they're saying that men are incapable of love just because a man never loved you. They're saying this stuff out loud, but
Mhm.
nobody in the chat, nobody that comes on the panel, nobody in her life is telling her, hey, what you're saying doesn't make sense, it sounds crazy, maybe you should get help. No, instead they're over there trauma bonding, like you were saying, Mella.
No, Faith was saying trauma bonding. I I was talking about um what the hell was I talking about? It's late at night. I was talking about task switching. That's what
Hmm.
I introduced to the conversation. The psychological term task switching. And
Hmm.
Faith was the one that you should give credit to, the trauma bonding comment that she made.
Oh, okay, well, thank you, Faith, for making the trauma bonding comment. Now, I do agree with the trauma bonding because when going over there, they go on and on and on about how men are bad. We're not going to focus on men, then turn around and make the focus on men. And even when women call into her show like Robbie did, Princella will start yelling and saying that, oh, you just come here to argue. If you were to read my book, watch my videos, and donate to my channel, then you would not only understand me, but you would believe me. And I'm telling you, she's very
Ain't
articulate.
that slick? That's so slick.
Buy my books, you'll understand, and you won't want to argue. Well, Dita Rail just did a stream, and he was breaking down her book and showing how her book is written like a children's coloring book. And
Mm.
Really?
Surprise,
right,
surprise.
yeah, it had a lot of misspellings. It had a lot of bad punctuation, grammatically incorrect. It was written like a children's coloring book.
And it
And
got
then
That
there's also
published.
ain't that
well, she's
something?
self-published. These days, you can self-publish, put your stuff on like Amazon or wherever, and people can just go buy it, mistakes and all. And the fact that her stuff has not been peer reviewed, and she doesn't want it to be peer
At
reviewed
all.
at all, and she
She
doesn't want to
knows
listen
why.
to anyone. Right? She knows her stuff is jacked up, and she's selling it. And if people are buying it, more power to them, because just like with a lot of religious books that have inconsistencies, that have uh, hypocrisy and contradictions, and people get inspired by that, more power to them. Who are we to stop people from being inspired, even if the stuff doesn't make any sense?
I got a question. Speaking of doesn't make any sense. Is
Hmm.
it true that she is a military officer or was a
So,
military officer? Has that been proven true?
so as far as myself, I commissioned in 2016 in the U.S. Army, and the
What's
only
your
way,
rank?
well, my rank was captain before I got out.
All
So,
right.
so for my, well, there's only four ways you can commission. I was enlisted at first, then I went and became an officer. You can either do direct commission at Fort Benning, whereas you come in as come in and you could be a chaplain, or you could be you're a doctor or lawyer, and you get a direct commission, or you go through the path that I went through, which is Officer Candidate School at Fort Benning, or you can take college classes and you can go through ROTC, and then when you graduate, you become an officer, or you can go to the federal military academies. For the Army, it's West Point. It's got to be one of those four paths to be a commissioned officer. So for me to hear that she currently is pursuing an undergraduate degree tells me that there's just no way, you know, I'm not saying stolen valor, but there's just no way that you're pursuing a degree, yet you were a commissioned officer. Plus, she said that she was homeless at one point. There's no way that you can be homeless in the military and no one's going to find out. Someone's going to find out and bust you out.
I got another question real quick, and I know this sounds kind of rank, right? This is a intrusive question. Does anybody know whether or not she has a criminal record?
No.
Okay. I know that sounds intrusive, but hey.
Are you saying no criminal record or no, you don't know?
Well, Hustler and Musler said, oh, you don't. Well, does anybody know?
She'll be doxxed. Don't worry. Yeah, someone's going to dox her sooner or later. Don't worry.
Sooner or later.
Right.
And the only reason why I have the freedom to ask that kind of question is because I don't have a criminal record, damn it. So dox me all the blank you want to. Okay?
Well, cam up and somebody will.
Well, whatever. But the case in point being that her self-declaration as a pimp sounds like she might have been incarcerated. I mean, who says that? You know, who goes around saying that in the interest of capturing weak-minded individuals so that she can make money? Who does that other than a corrupt-minded individual? I think that there's some semblances of corruption. You know, she's not saying it for jokes, laughs, and giggles. She's saying it because she's throwing a net out there to catch as many fish as she can. And that's under the guise of, I'm here to help you. That's the corrupt part. It's like, it's one thing. It's like, hey, I just want you to know I'm here to get your money. But in the meantime, you got to believe that I'm helping you while I get your money. You know, it's just weird.
I was rocking and rolling with her because I really believe that she is like the answer to Kevin Samuels. Like when she came, I was like, oh, the men are up in arms. Good. Because now they know how the women were feeling when they were all in
the enemy of my enemy is my friend type of mentality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's how they get people. It's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And next thing you know, you rocking with, not you, but a person is rocking with them regardless of what type of outlandish things they say or do, because the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
I am not I'm not that type of person where, you know, I'm going to rock with anybody regardless. I've always been a free thinker, and I encourage people that come to my channel to be a free thinker, even challenge me. You know, but respectful about it. But my whole thing is she's out here with this gay stuff. Now, you know, when I'm in that chat room and I'm vabbing and I'm agreeing with you, and then that gay shit start to happen, that's when, you know, you lose me and I got to get the hell up out of it.
We're back on the gay stuff
that's
again.
when she lose you?
Yeah,
that's
she said she wanted to get off the gay stuff, but she back to the gay stuff.
So are we going to stay on the gay stuff, or are we leaving the gay stuff alone?
Leave it alone, please.
Okay. I'm going to leave it alone because it's just traumatic. I mean, y'all don't understand. I was in that chat room, then all of a sudden the gay shit started to happen. I don't know.
Yeah, you can recover from disappointment. You know, I mean, considering that it was an attractive live stream for a period of time until she did something that just went off the rails, you can recover from that disappointment. You know.
So to me, I think that, you know, in the interest of, I guess, protecting Black women or women, period, Princella is bad because she's selling snake oil and taking people's money. And it's not really improving anyone's lives or relationships or really giving them any good options. So just like with Kevin Samuels was taking people's money and he wasn't providing any actual solutions. He was just providing entertainment. And that's kind of one of the things about the space, is that people are running the race of life on a treadmill while listening to these people getting programmed. And at the end of the paper chase, everything that they had is erased. There's not
Okay,
a lot. Oh, I'm
Spade,
sorry. Go ahead.
I want to ask you, do you think Kevin Samuels was capable of love? Because let's keep this title, the title of this last, I'm sorry, I'm stepping over my tongue. Um, let's keep the title of this live stream in mind, that men are not capable of love. That is Princella's projection, right? Um, what do you think? You think that it holds water?
I think Kevin Samuels was capable of love because he loved money and he loved himself.
Okay, is okay. So when Princella says that men aren't capable of love, she's not being specific. Is that it?
That's
It
it.
okay. All right.
Because self-love is love, or the love you have for your
Self
children is
love
love,
is love.
and the love you
Right.
have.
So what type of love is she talking about? Exactly. She's not being specific when she makes her assertions. That's a
Yeah,
good critique.
yeah,
You
she's
know what?
very
That is
vague.
a good point, Mella.
Yeah, she's very vague, and she does that because it's easier to manipulate when you leave it vague and not give any specificity. That's the reason why when people call in
Thank
and
you,
they question,
Faith. I'm listening to you, officer. I just wanted to acknowledge that Faith gave me a very kind compliment
I was
because,
giving you. Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry. Go
because you new to me. So, you know, I didn't mind jumping in and make sure I acknowledge Faith.
ahead. Take your time.
But I am capable of love once I get to know you.
Well, according to Priscilla, because you're a woman, you're automatically capable of love.
Apparently.
And that's the thing. She leaves it vague, just like with religion, so that it's easier to manipulate. Anytime someone calls in and questions her talking points, questions her book, questions
Hmm.
her motives and moves, she always goes into the Baptist preacher mode or into the pimp mode or
She
whatever
gonna
mode.
make you drink that Kool-Aid.
Right. She goes shove it
She
down your
gonna
throat.
make you drink that Kool-Aid, okay? It's cult leader mode. Just she's gathering a congregation and they are committed to her. So it's not a joke. There are a lot of people that are committed to her. Like she might as well write a new Bible. She might as well write a Bible. You know, but as you said, it's gonna be like a, a illiterate comic book or some shit.
Yeah, she already wrote a Bible. It's like a children's coloring book with a lot of misspellings, grammatical
Hmm.
errors, and punctuation issues, and it's really easy to read for the elementary student.
Ain't that something? So
That's the
she's just insulting everybody's intelligence and don't give a damn, huh?
I just
Oh,
want to look at this comment from Just for My 4 cents. He says, she is not a Kevin Samuels. Y'all just have amnesia when it comes to Kevin Samuels. Y'all forget that one line that he made about the brown stains? That sometimes it's better to make a brown stain than to put up with some bullshit from a woman. I'm paraphrasing what he said.
he
But
says so many crazy things.
yeah, he did. I mean, I'm just wondering, like, where are these people coming from? Talking about she's not a Kevin Samuels. She reminds me exactly of how Kevin Samuels was when he came out. The only difference is she will let men call in. She don't degrade the men when they call in. So in that respect, I will say she's different than Kevin Samuels.
I
But yes,
disagree. Why disagree? Because if the man agrees with her, like the simp god guy or any guy that she co-hosts with, then she'll rock with him. Or if a guy calls in and he agrees with her, she's all for it. But if you disagree with her, she'll cut you off. She'll start getting loud like a Baptist preacher, going on, and she'll say, "You just called in just to argue." She's not going to listen to you. She's not going to respect you, and she's going to be doing a bunch of deflecting because she's not wanting criticism. She doesn't want to be peer reviewed. she's not trying to hear nothing from nobody. She believes that by stealing philosophy that comes from men and overhearing men talk equates to all men are like this, when it's just the man who was
Not
supposed
to
to.
mention that some of those ideas are outdated and have already been debunked.
Exactly. 1950s talking points. She's no different than the Manosphere and Kevin Samuels. To me, he's just a female version of all that stuff that has been brainwashing people and leading people astray. And it's like now it's time to get their man woman sphere type of thing going on. And it's just no different than what we've seen in the past.
You know what? All this talk about manipulative people, I am being inspired to ask a specific question if faith will permit it. Okay? It's to Spade because he's an officer. Faith, grant me this permission. Spade, do you think that officers are better than enlistees? And if so, why? Because I resented having to salute officers. I resented that.
Well, you're saluting the rank, not the person.
I understand the
And
whole institution of it all. What I'm asking you personally, in the consciousness of your being, do you actually think that officers are quote unquote better than enlistees?
no, one
Okay,
rank is
thank you. That's enough. Okay, thanks. Thank you, Faith.
am I
Y'all,
allowed to explain further, or are we going back to the subject?
you know what? You
No
military.
is
If we're
what?
going back to
No
the
is an
subject, then I
answer.
got something to add.
No is an answer, and that answer was sufficient.
You military people always hijack my panel with your military bullshit. All right,
And I
go
asked your
ahead.
permission.
I didn't know it was gonna be that military stuff. I would have been like, hell no, no.
Okay.
Go ahead, Demetrius.
All right. So the thing is, I'll say this: they are exactly who we thought they were, and I'm being vague about this because I'm talking about her audience as well as her. See, this I'm specifically addressing the subsect of her audience who has incurred great trauma at the hands of men or by the very absence of men.
My
The
sister-in-law
thing,
was the same way. My sister-in-law was a Princella. Okay, she's too
really?
old to be a Princella. Yeah, she was talking all that yang yang. Whenever I saw her with a woman, that woman was mesmerized, hypnotized, and like would kiss the ground she walked on. And I'm just like, what the hell is really going on? You know. But
Well, I
that was
was
my
getting to
sister.
that.
Yeah, my sister-in-law's experience was a lot of uh terrible experiences with men, and she changed over and she decided to be in charge of women. That's what she decided. I asked her,
Well,
I said,
let
what?
me
Why do you?
explain that phenomenon, Melody. Let me explain.
She said she likes women because they're sweet and easy.
Well, here's that's part of what I'm going into. Okay, this is an actual phenomenon called political lesbianism. Okay, if these dudes ain't acting right, then we'll just go date women, or we'll just sit on our hands until they
Political
act right.
lesbianism.
Political lesbianism. Yes.
You learn
Are
something
you
new every
familiar with
day.
it?
No, I'm getting familiar with it with you talking about it. So I swear you learn something new every day. Political lesbianism. Okay, let me go
And
ahead
he
and
has
touch.
no reference from where this term came from. He's just saying it, right? So
No,
at least
I
I gave
learned
the
it from
term.
the internet. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, so you just
Specifically,
picking up
an
stuff that
article.
other like imbeciles are saying, like,
No, these are feminist leaders, actually.
well, they're imbeciles too. What I'm saying is that at least the term that I offered is an actual psychological term that can be referenced. Your term can't be referenced other than, propaganda and hearsay. So can we be educated by something that is search worthy? I'm
That
giving you a
political
hard time on
lesbianism
purpose
isn't.
because I want you to. I
I
know you're
know, I
better than
know.
that.
It's
I know you're better than that.
I don't know the term that you are gonna reference. Go ahead.
No, when you said political lesbianism, I was like, oh, okay, I'm getting ready to look that up. And I'm like, well, that don't make no sense. You know?
But
Yeah,
there have been actual
you
articles
see,
like
it's on
written about that. It's called sociology,
it's on
observing
Okay.
Wikipedia.
social phenomenon.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. All right.
Yeah, I just looked it up. It's on Wikipedia. It says political lesbianism is asserts that sexual orientation is a political and feminist choice and advocates lesbianism as a positive
That's our
alternative.
reference point, Wikipedia.
But I'm
It's
just
not the
saying,
only reference point, but
it's
I'm
not the
just
only
giving
that's the one
reference
she
point.
pulled up.
I'm just giving y'all a hard time. In the interest of thinking, Wikipedia can be a go-to. Um, I just would think they would have cared to be more creative than that. Um, when I think of political, I think of legislation. And so is it legislative lesbianism, the LL?
But I
It's
don't
like,
know, but there are a lot of
No,
articles.
no, that's not the idea. The idea, well, the whole theory comes from the idea that your your sexuality and who you choose to partner with is a socio-political statement
oh, all right.
because it's going to have political ramifications, social interactions, and like stuff that you do in your social life. If it happens en masse, it will have political ramifications.
Hmm.
You know what? This is
So
on
moving as a unit
Oxford.com.
is basically politics.
Yeah, this is on OxfordReference.com too. Political lesbianism. This is all over the internet. Hey, this
Mm.
is actually the thing.
Mm. Speaking of actually a thing, it is actually a thing for a former enlistee to be jealous of a person who's an officer. Spade, that's why
No, you're not doing that because you wouldn't let me explain. So we're not doing that. Hey, you got to super
that's
chat.
the nature of why I asked you that question. I'm jealous of you. I'm very jealous of you. Okay.
I'm not an officer anymore. I
No, but I'm
was one.
saying the fact that you can hold that under your belt and I can't is a source of envy. And that's why I did that. It wasn't um and when I, because of the person that I am compelled to confess that to you. And I hope we remain in good standing for conversations in the future. Okay. I want to say that out loud. I'm not the type of person that's just going to be, um, you know, getting off this live stream saying, yeah, yeah, I checked the officer. No, it's like I'm woman enough to admit that uh, I would have loved your accolades. So I just want to say that out loud so we don't hinder our communication further. Okay.
Oh, we
And
won't.
I hope you forgive me. And if
You're
not, it's okay. I forgive myself.
you're forgiven, Mela. No harm,
Thank
no
you,
foul.
darling. I appreciate it.
So just my four
I
cents as
just
a
want to be on
$5.
I just want to be even with you, sir.
Oh,
We're
okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, Yvonne, for bringing it up. Just my 4 cents with the $5 super chat. He says, Faith Kevin Samuels talked to women while men listened. Princella talks to G women and refuse to listen to men unless they agree. Big difference.
GAY.
When did Kevin actually listen to the women?
When they agreed with them.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you
yeah.
agree with Priscilla and Kevin Samuels, they'll listen.
But
The
thank you for
only
the fact
woman he ever listened to was Jessica X. I think, if I
It was
remember.
others that came. It was others that called
oh,
in, and they agreed with him and stuff, and he was like,
oh,
yeah,
Nicki Minaj. Don't forget Nicki.
right.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
fanboyed out with her.
He definitely suppressed his. He definitely suppressed himself with when it came to her.
Mm-hmm. So that right there should be a signal that if the host only agrees with people who agree with them or her, then that lets you know that you're basically being set up for the okie doke. But I think a lot of people come online for escapism, not solutions. They want to have a good time. They want to be entertained. They want to laugh. They want to pass time by and have a hobby of just listening to different talking points and meeting different people. And I think that's fine that people have as entertainment purposes only, but it's only a matter of time before hearing these talking points, people actually take it into the real world and they do stuff that we see on a lot of these skits.
Yeah.
Cheesecake Factory.
Well, that was a skit, but that actually, I know people that's actually
I've
happened to.
witnessed that myself. Let's just say that.
Right. So we all know that even though a lot of these skits are skits, they're based off of real world stuff or something similar that you could say, okay, even though this is a skit, it happens. And when people have the discussion on it, people start gender warring because women don't feel like, well, women don't want to take a loss when it comes to dating. They don't want to give up the kitty and feel like they're acquiescing to a man and not getting anything in return. And men don't want to waste time, energy, and give their resources if they're not getting something like the kitty. So everybody's trying to get over on someone else in the game of chess or the game of life and checkers. And that's kind of the problem, is that people are not going in to meet someone and genuinely get to know them. They're going in to try to finesse. And Priscilla is finessing, especially when she says that men are incapable of love. And when you're like, wait a minute, that don't make any sense. Then she keeps talking and you realize that she's bastardizing philosophy that comes from men, and she's using it to promote a us versus them narrative.
I want to build off what you said, Spade.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, people come up in the chat room expecting to have a good time, and then they become exposed to these ideologies like political lesbianism, like radicalization of ideology, us versus them mentality. They become indoctrinated into these weirdo cults. And I think the best way to combat that is just to educate yourself on these different things and how people will try to indoctrinate you. I want
Absolutely.
I don't want to, like, for this stream to go on and I don't give a solution, if you understand what I'm saying. So ladies, if you are by chance over here, then please educate yourself. Read what she's talking about. I know at the very least, the John Calhoun experiment that she keeps referencing, I've debunked that on here. The reason why it was debunked, wasn't because there were too many male mice in that universe. It was because of it wasn't because of overpopulation. Sorry. Here's what the phrase was. It wasn't because of overpopulation, but lack of purpose. Yes, it was because of, you had a whole lot of mice that felt like they had no purpose. And so they started to engage in homosexuality. They started abstaining from sex. They started to, general effects of overpopulation, like get deformities and diseases, and then they just started dying off. And they were dead within 4 weeks. The whole universe was done.
That's crazy. You make a good point. It was about the overpopulation.
Well, it was really about lack of purpose with the overpopulation. Like, but the mice's needs, they were all taken care of. The only one that you could argue overpopulation is the disease and sickness. That's really the only one.
So if the mice decided they didn't have a sense of purpose, why did they turn gay?
Well, So the way that it was debunked with that specific section is the female mice, even though they had everything they needed, they required more of the male mice to bring them the food pellets and I think they had something else for like water or something like that. But they required more of the male mice, even though had everything that they needed to survive. And the male mice said, you know what, basically, screw this, you already have everything you need to survive. And so the lady mice were like basically just sitting on their hands. Well, you ain't getting no coochie. And so then the male mice and the female mice started engaging in homosexuality. That's how it happened. But this is because that the two sexes refused to intermingle from then on.
So,
Sounds like what's going on in the black community right now.
so, so, so there is no such thing as love. There's only a sense of purpose.
No, there is such thing as love,
What
and
is
there is
love?
purpose. I'm sorry?
What is love in your
Love means
mind?
different things to different people, but to me, love means taking care of that person, protecting that person by any means necessary in all ways, in shapes
Hmm.
and forms, and then progressing through life with that person.
Okay, that's romantic. I hear you. Or familiar, like it could be related to family caregiving as well. I say that my definition of love is an acronym, lots of various emotions. And to me, that's what love is. Love is when a strong emotion and sense of attachment is evoked, like lots of various emotions.
Oxytocin.
Yeah, that hormone is a bitch. It's a trip because it it make it promotes decisions that when you come out of it, you're like, why am I doing this? Um, that's a very strong hormone, very strong.
Yeah, that hormone invokes a deep sense of loyalty.
It's
And
crazy. That
and
hormone is so
men
powerful.
finally when men finally get the hormone, when their testosterone level lowers, it makes them want to be more how can I say, more faithful to one woman that he has his eyes on. So that hormone right there, women need to start buying that in pills and just dumping that in men's food. Put it in the coffee. I'm just I'm just joking, y'all.
Yeah. Is there a difference between oxytocin and dopamine? Or are they
Yeah.
like, is one more powerful than the other? Because I know like dopamine is a reward system type of neurotransmitter, and oxytocin doesn't require reward, correct?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, that's the difference. All right. I was just trying to think it out, you know.
So, Faith, I heard you said some. You said this sounds like a lot like the black community, or at the very least, the rhetoric that's pushed in the black community.
It does.
And the scientists they tried to get around it by saying humans aren't like mice, but the point that John Calhoun was trying to make was that there are certain mammalian behaviors that we engage in that as mammals that are inherently self-destructive if not put within check. And so the way our society functions, those mammalian behaviors have been exposed, and basically they ended up breaking the knob on them, basically. And what I mean by that is they set them out of whack so that these behaviors aren't in check.
That's true. Because look at what happened to men when they go to prison. That's a really good comparison. Some of these guys that go to prison, they get turned out in jail. They have a lot of documentaries, about that. So when you're being thrown
Not to
into an
mention that
environment,
some of them come out worse than they went in.
yep. But that's just it. When you're thrown into an environment like INC, Intelligent Neanderthal Caveman says, the mice didn't choose that. They were thrown into an alternative lifestyle, just like humans.
They caught him in the shower. No, I'm just
Mm,
kidding. I'm just kidding.
got 'em. Hey, it happens.
Yeah, I think women, that happens to women when they're incarcerated, if I can imagine. Prison is a whole nother situation. Like it's a do or die. Like I from the movies and the documentaries and all the things that I could stand to look at, it would seem that you can't just do your time without being confronted with acclimating to what someone who's stronger than you demands. You know what I mean? So it's uh, as someone used the word autonomy earlier. I think it was Spade. I think your autonomy is at risk when you're incarcerated. So yeah, you might be prone to get transitioned
You
up
be a
in there.
changed man. By the
Yeah,
time.
or a woman. I try to be fair and balanced. Like, I think what's capable of happening to men is also capable of happening to women, vice versa.
But
I
you know what? The studies show that in women
But
prisons,
testosterone is a good variable that you mentioned. That's a good variable. I didn't think about testosterone as a variable.
yeah, Princella talks about that at nauseum about the effects of testosterone on men and how it makes them more aggressive, and so therefore she says they're more dangerous, and this contributes to the fact that they're not capable of love. But that's her hypothesis, and I said that the testosterone has nothing to do with a man's ability to love. It just controls their fight or flight reflexes, but not their love, their ability to love.
hmm I was watching a movie where a scientist did a brain scan on a guy, and she showed him various pictures awaiting the response of his brain signals, and he showed no concern of the most adorable images like a puppy, a kitten, a baby, um, children at a playground. Like he showed his brain scan imaging showed no concern for that. So when the assistant was like, wait a minute, he's not responding with empathy for a little baby? What the hell is going on? And the scientist said men are wired not to care about offspring that isn't their own. That was an interesting sentence in that movie. I was wondering if anybody can.
But they need to explain these men running around here taking care of the side chick kids that don't belong to them and ignoring their own kids. Like,
Mhm.
how
Maybe
did
the
that go?
side chick is doing more for him than his wife was, and that's why that's the incentive of his increased dedication on that end. Perhaps that explains that. You know.
Yeah, but why would that? Why? How did that explain him caring for kids that's not his own, but not his own kids?
because he wants the
Uh,
kidney.
yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, he really wants what she got.
Just like with the honest truth, how he was taken care of and playing around with Ambi Pre's son, and it was stepdaddy time. Then when the money ran out and he didn't want Ambi Pre anymore, now the kid is weird. Now the kid is strange. Now he's roasting the kid online.
You know what?
So
That's crazy shit right there. That dude is a piece of work.
he is, but men typically will target a single mother because she's going to be desperate or at least bored because she can't go out and have fun like she would like. So he might be the only game in town, and befriending and playing with the kid is like his way in. And she's thinking, oh, well, he will be a good father. Then he pumps and dumps, beat, skeet, delete, smash and dash after he's done getting what he wants from her. Then he bounces. So he really had no interest in taking care of kids, period. Taking care of the kid and being a stepdad was the means to the end.
Yeah, I knew a situation where a guy moved in with a woman who has a child, and they were all in love and love and love. And then they fell on financial hard times, but they were still together. And he was getting increasingly ill, and she was annoyed, because she was accustomed to what little he did contribute in addition to what she was providing, to keep everything normal as possible. And one day she confronted him and she was like, you got to get a life insurance policy. So he went and got one, but he put as the beneficiary the son that he had outside of wedlock with a previous woman. Like, he put his own offspring as the beneficiary, and that was it. And she was like, let me get this straight. You've been with us for a decade, and when you get a life insurance policy, your instinct is to solely look out for your offspring and not to consider us. Get the fuck out. She was like, get the blank out. You know, um, how dare you, have your presence around my child as if so basically you've been a pretend dad all this time, because when it comes down to who you want to be well off after you're gone, you're only thinking about your own son when you've been under this situation, and this child is grown up in front of you, but you're not gonna look out for him, so yeah, I hear you about that. I hear you.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Typically,
So his intention was just to lay up under, a woman that, as you said, was a single mother because she didn't have any other options when he came along.
yep. Typically, a man will be connected with a child when he sees the child come out of the mom, and then he accepts that child. That's when he becomes dad. So for a woman that has kids by like different men or a man or whatever, when somebody comes along and he's befriending your child, you got to ask yourself, why would he give his resources, his time, and his energy to a child that he did not create? So he basically has to love the woman more than he loves himself in order to have that bond with her child.
Mm.
Yeah, most men are not going to love a woman more than themselves, like for real. Most of the time, it's she looks good. I want to be around her. I want to be up under her. I want to have relations with her. But if she,
Mhm.
let's say, decides, but she doesn't want to have relations anymore, or doesn't want to have relations for whatever reason, if he's not really with you, he's gonna go get it from somewhere else because he's only in it for the kitty. Men will go above and beyond for some kitty.
Now, there are men who will be, they do possess this martyr complex where they will love a woman more than themselves because they are martyrs. You know, that's their personality complex. Can you speak on that? Like,
I would say they have low self-esteem because when it boils down to it, you should love yourself more than anyone else.
right.
To love someone else more than yourself, usually it's because he has low self-esteem, maybe he has a mental illness, or there's that small percentage chance that he truly loves her, which
Hmm.
is very, very small and slim.
Now, I blame Aretha Franklin for women being fucked up in the game, so to
Why
speak.
Aretha?
Man, because she was like, I'll deny myself before I see you without it. Baby, I love you. Y'all remember the song? Baby, 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 I love you. Ain't no doubt about it, baby, I love you. Know what I'm saying? And then you get to the part of the song, the lyrics, right? Um, Whatever you want, baby, you got it. I'll deny myself before I see you without it. Cause baby, I love you. And so then Aretha was singing, I say a little prayer for you, uh, daydreaming and I'm thinking about you, and you know what I'm saying? Like, and so we label her as the quote unquote queen of soul. So what she was programming in the souls of women is self-sacrifice. I blame Aretha. Yeah, I said it. I
Yeah, she's a
blame.
part of the problem. Thank you, Robert Benjamin, for the $10 super sticker.
Shout out to Robert Benjamin.
What do you think? What do you think about what I said, baby? Am I tripping in the middle of the night?
Girl, you done start singing, bust out with the Aretha Franklin. I'm like, hey,
Now
hot take.
I love listening to her. Don't get me wrong, but when I think about some of the things that women in the '70s put themselves through unnecessarily,
Yes.
what they probably had in common was they were Aretha Franklin fans, and they followed.
I think we love hard in general.
Yeah, just martyrs.
That's the difference between men and women. Like men are not gonna love as hard as we do.
I
Just
Like
disagree.
we gonna really
Yeah,
I
I literally
disagree.
disagree.
always on the y'all always on the disagreement end. Okay,
Well,
okay.
because we gotta understand, like, when it comes to, like, let's say Princella, for example, she may have never met a man who would love her hard. A lot of women have never been with a man who will love them hard because they usually turn him down, which is why we come with the talking point that Jada Pinkett Smith would rather be with Tupac and pick Tupac first. And then when she had a bunch of kids and she's gotten older, and now she wants Will Smith. But she really doesn't want Will Smith. She wants Will Smith as a utility. So a lot of women go
Mm.
at the swag, style, charisma. He
That's
looks
true.
good. He's the popular guy. He's the jock. He's the guy on campus who's a
But
part of the
but
fraternity.
can we not use Jada as like the poster child for all women because I think
No,
she's
no,
an anomaly.
Jada's a type. She's an archetype. So if I say Jada Pinkett Smith, you immediately have a picture in your head that I can describe.
It's like a Jezebel. It's basically
Yeah,
Jada,
kind of
a
like
female version of Satan. You know,
she might be
that's
the
what.
next Princella.
Well, most women are like Jada.
No, they not. Oh my
Most.
no,
god.
they are. Well, hold on now, Spades, you might be onto something
Let me explain.
because
Here we go.
after that one dude,
Spades
everybody know what I'm talking about.
Samuel.
After that one dude, they never the same.
The
Well, let
next
me ask
Kevin
you this.
Samuels in the making. Here we go. Let's
Well,
hear it.
let me ask you this. Do you all know a woman that when she has problems with her man, she doesn't discuss it with her man. She goes to her homeboys, her homegirls, family members, or anybody else to talk about her problems and
X.
complain?
No, women are more expressive than men. We are always in y'all face, nagging y'all, telling
So,
y'all
so women don't gossip now.
Oh, really?
Women,
Women
I,
don't gossip.
So
women
why
are
did my
always
ex come to
wow.
me about their
about our
relationship problems?
Speak on it. Speak on it. Go ahead.
So
Speak
why
on it.
did my ex come crying to me about her relationship problems?
Wow.
Ladies, he's talking to y'all.
I think she came to you because you were there.
No, I'm the one who she really likes.
Jada. Jada.
Wait a minute. So you saying that she came to you because she really wanted to be with you?
I'm the one who made the heaviest impression on her. She still tells me she loves me.
So you were Tupac.
Because you're a good listener.
And you're Tupac.
Mm,
She
Phase.
loves
mm.
that you're a good listener. Maybe her ex wasn't a good listener and you are, and that's the distinction.
And you're Tupac.
Wow.
You're
Really?
No, I mean,
her
it is.
Tupac.
I'm
Right.
just saying, Faith. I say it with no malintent. Like everybody knows that one girl who loved a guy so much, even if she moved on, she was never the same after him, and she will always think about that one guy
Jada.
in
Yeah, no,
comparison
I
to the
can't
guy that
sympathize
she's with.
about that.
Yeah, now, yeah, it take a lot to get over that first love. It take a lot.
Again, a lot of women love hard and they're just like Jada. The difference is Jada is famous, whereas the lay woman or the regular woman who's not famous, she still is going to be quote unquote spilling tea, gossiping, and she's going to go to whoever will listen while she complains about her current person that she's with, and she's going to say,
What you just agreed with me that women love hard.
"Well, women do
No,
love
no,
hard."
we're not disagreeing that women love hard. It's just the fact that you said women love harder than men. When
Exactly.
I know for a fact a whole lot of dudes loved women harder than the women loved them back, and that's why they in the manosphere now.
All right, so let me present y'all with
That's
this.
He
The
said
reason
that's why
why
they in the manosphere now.
the reason why men not only love women, but I think men love women more than women love men is because when there's a breakup, men aren't coming to you all asking for a refund for all those dates that we paid for. So all the gifts that we get you all for Valentine's Day, all the expensive restaurants that we go to, get your vehicle fixed, do the honey-do list, listen to your problems, listen to you complain, do this and do that. We don't ask for a refund after the relationship is over with, no matter how it ends. But
But
for
you wish you
women,
could.
we wish we could, but we don't. Women, like we don't sue for palimony, but what do women do? Women try to take you for everything as far as child support
Give me
or
my
alimony.
PS5.
PS5, they want the Jordans back. They want to sue you for palimony. Women will key your car. They'll destroy your property. But as far as men, unless he's abusive, which is like a small percentage of men, most men, when the relationship is over with, we try to get you back, but eventually we move on. We don't
Stop,
send you a bill.
stop the car. Stop the car.
Okay, the
Stop the
car
car.
stop. Where we're
Okay.
stopping at is the fact that men are
You
not
said
money back from you all.
most men aren't abusive. Is that what you said?
I said a small percentage of men are abusive.
A small percentage of men are abusive. So what's this testosterone and them being aggressive about? They're aggressive. They box. They men are aggressive. Do you not
Not
agree?
abusive. Aggressive,
Is
yes.
aggression like initially bad because somebody can be aggressively in love with you, aggressively passionate,
Mm-hmm.
aggressive in conversation?
Mm-hmm.
I think that
Boxing's not
men
abusive.
don't really know that they are abusive. I think they really don't. And there's
Bingo.
different levels of it.
Okay, well, the best way you can let a man know he's abusive is by calling the police on him, leaving him, doing something to let him know that he's quote unquote abusive.
No, we're
But,
not
but
talking
what
about
about what if
kicking
it's
ass.
not?
We're talking
Let's
about even yelling at her, like yelling at your woman because things aren't going right and you yelling at her. Like that's abusive. But you don't get to
Oh,
call
no, let's not go there. No, 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 no.
what
Let's
about
not go there.
financial
Let's steer clear
and
from the
financial
yelling.
abuse, right?
Okay, yeah, that's men all over it. That's men all over it.
and then
Like
all the
financial abuse.
lying and the gaslighting,
Not
you know?
not all men are
But let's
financial.
let's be honest here. Like a lot of men don't have the funds to be financially abusive, so that's a rare situation already.
Okay, well, what about the lying, the gaslighting?
I would say I would say
Like
not a
what's
lot
going
of men
on
have
right
the
now?
intelligence to pull something like that off. Most men will get caught in their lie before they can even manipulate someone.
Yeah, the lying, the gaslighting that's going on, like even right now, you know. I'm just saying, it's a
How? No, 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 no. See,
you all are
I'm.
abusing us now as we're sitting on this panel.
Oh, I'm abusing. I'm abusing. Oh,
You
that's
all are being
real
abusive.
interesting. Real interesting.
The majority of men aren't. Okay, I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna look at his sentence in a different way. The majority of men aren't abusive. that sits better than hearing most, I don't know. It's just that sentence just kind of threw me off. It just because I know men are aggressive by nature. Like they're competitive and spirit. Like men are just
But you're not
aggressive.
naming anything that's abusive. So abuse, as far as definition, means wrong or improper use.
All right.
That's what abuse is. So
And
what you all
all
are
right.
talking about is like domestic violence, not necessarily abuse. So like someone yelling at you, that
So
could be
you gonna
considered.
tell us what abuse we are referring to when we are
You know, I mean, dictionary.com is telling you what abuse
abuse
you're.
against
Okay, hold on. Spade. I'm gonna level with them real quick. Look up abuse sociology definition.
I don't care to. I have my own belief, and it is my belief that aggression leads to abuse, and men are aggressive.
Yeah, that's that Priscilla logic.
Yeah, I
Don't
can't
you
agree with that because
dare say that
aggression
to
isn't
me.
That's
inherently
what
And
it
bad.
is.
Nella say that a lot, Nella. She does say that testosterone levels, high testosterone leads to a lot of aggression and abuse.
Aggression leads to abuse.
Well, not no aggression doesn't always lead to abuse.
Really?
Right, it doesn't. So, like for example, let's say if a guy's aggressive and he's playing basketball, that doesn't mean he's going to abuse
I
anybody on
mean,
the
with a
court.
woman. I mean, with a woman, they're not playing. But I mean, with a woman.
Still,
But
I
see,
mean, I wouldn't even say that because aggression isn't inherently toxic. Aggressive is an adjective.
Wow.
because women can abuse just as much as men can.
So in the DSM, right? Um, when aggression is one of the characteristics in explosive personality disorder, right? Is it not a solvent conclusion that aggression leads to abuse?
But somebody has to be diagnosed with that by a licensed professional. So that should be outside the scope of the conversation because none of us are up
And
here.
and I'd say in
I agree.
the
We just all
scenarios where that
guessing.
actually happens, Mela, that comes from lack of emotional regulation, lack
I
of
agree that we're all
self-control.
just guessing because we're not certified professionals in the
Yeah,
field of
I'm definitely guessing
psychology.
here. I'm definitely
And
guessing.
this is still a good conversation. It just threw me off when you said you know, it just kind of threw me off. Cause that gave me the connotation that men are just as innocent as little lambs out here, and I know that's not true. You know,
Well,
it,
okay,
it's
let me ask you this: Do
Spade,
you
can
and yet
like
you want
I
to say
inject
all women
something
are
into this
Jada. You
conversation,
want to say
Spade?
all women are Jada, and and with the same breath, you want to say that men aren't prone to be abusive. Like I
I think I
don't.
said most women are Jada, not all. But if I
Okay,
said all, I apologize, but I'm going to say most.
Well, according to PhoenixAustralia.org, it says, as noted previously, violence is an extreme form of aggression. And aggression does not always
aggression.
involve violence, but violence always involves aggression.
Yes, it does.
But that
Violent.
doesn't mean
Yeah,
that.
aggression leads to all that. Yeah.
No. What she's saying is that violence will include aggression, but that doesn't necessarily mean that aggression will lead to violence. So it's
You
not
have
a.
a right to
It's,
defend your gender.
well, I'm not defending my gender. I'm just explaining it. Oh, Melo's gone.
She just dropped.
That's
Did her phone die or something?
aggressive.
Spade, I will say this. I will say this. If we are to accept that, then if we are to look at the IPV DV rates or whatever you would call them, then men and women are pretty much toe to toe. Men, um, I think it's like men still lead, but it's only by like 5 percentage points. So I
Yes,
mean,
that's what's reported, because there is violence that happens that's not reported. I think it's a slippery slope when talking about aggression and abuse and different things. So to me, I'm going to say that majority of women are like Jada. And my reasoning is that a lot of women gossip, whereas men gossip too, but it's not socially acceptable for men to gossip. So men are not going to gossip as much as women. So when women gossip about their relationship and they complain, they'll complain to homeboys, homegirls, family, whoever. Whereas men, we typically don't really have many people to talk to. The part that makes Jada, I'm going to say, offensive is the fact that she's openly saying negative things about her husband in public, in addition to sleeping with her son's friend. So sleeping with the son's friends, that's not really the main criteria of Jada. To me, what makes Jada Jada is just the fact that she's bad mouthing her husband to other people. She was
oh
given
yeah, a lot of people do that. I agree.
Yeah.
yeah, see Jada was given permission to sleep with other people because they were separated and the marriage was over with. But it's the fact that she's talking about him in a negative way and going on and on and
Because
on
she
about his
don't
problems.
respect him.
Right. A lot of women, they get with guys they don't respect. Now, Faith, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of women will give a guy a chance that they're not interested in because he wants that chance. So it's on him too. But they'll get with a guy they don't find attractive physically, they don't respect, they think he's lame, whatever. But they'll give him a chance because they think that he has qualities that they may learn to love. And unfortunately, in time, what they were giving him a chance for and what they thought was attractive about him, that's going to go away. And that
He
circles
was
back.
never a Demetrius. He was never a
Well,
Demetrius.
you could look online at these women in these level up forums, and there's your answer right there.
What'd you say?
I say if you go to any of these level up channels, the answer to his question is right there, where he's saying that the women will get with these guys that they don't necessarily like or they're attracted to, but there are other things that the man might have that the woman might like. You can go to these level up forums, and there's your answer. So yeah, there are definitely women that will get with men under those circumstances.
And they'll become a Jada. And like I said at the beginning of the conversation when I first came on, it'll get to a point where
Well,
two
just
people
look at Shira 7. I mean, she do not respect her husband at all.
Yeah, she
but,
badmouths him a lot. A lot.
but I'm sure she does have love for him because of what he's done for her. So I do believe
That's
that she
not
has
love.
no,
It's
love is
not.
love. No, someone it's possible.
Man,
It's possible for you to have love for someone or
Y'all
love them.
got this crazy
Faith, this
theory
is
about
this
love.
this is harkens back to the conversation, well, the stream that you did of covering Jason Black and that girl who was dating the guy who was older than her, and she
Oh
said that she
yeah,
loved him, but she kept using him for stuff. And she said, "Oh, I love him," but he was like, "Ma'am, you do not love him. You don't even respect this man."
Well,
yeah.
she doesn't respect him, but I mean, love is subjective because see, some people go through
But
stuff.
but at the towards the end stage,
Love involves respect, bro.
she did have
No,
to
it's possible
admit
not to
that she
respect someone
didn't
emotionally.
love him. Spade, that girl towards the end finally admitted that she didn't love that man.
Well, okay, that's different then, because in her mind, she didn't love him. So love is subjective and it's in someone's head and in someone's heart how they feel. You can't look at me.
Sometimes people can think something is love, but it's not love.
But okay, let me ask you this: if someone believes something to be true, is it true to them?
I can believe that I'm a pink Easter bunny, and I can really believe that it's true, and it would be true to me, but that does not make me an Easter bunny, a pink Easter bunny.
Right. So it's a fact you're not a pink Easter bunny, But if you believe it, then it's possible for you to actually think you're a pink Easter bunny. Because
Right, but
there's people out
the
here who
fact is, I'm
believe.
not a Easter bunny.
There's people out here who believe that there's 40 genders. Okay, they believe that there's 40 genders in their mind. Mental illness. They believe it. Now the fact is there's only two. Now, what's in your head, that's in your head. I can't control what's in your head. On the outside looking in, I can tell you there's only two because of science and biology. But in your mind, if you believe it, even if it's a mental illness, then it's true. So going back to Priscilla, there's women that believe that what Priscilla is saying is true and it makes sense. Even though I can break apart her book and say that her book is like a children's coloring book, even though I can say that it's no way that she was a military officer because she's currently getting her degree and you got to have one to commission. Even though I can say that there's no way that men are incapable of love because of this example and that example, if her followers believe that she's right, if people believe there is a God, in their minds, there's a God. In their minds, they believe Priscilla to be right. In their mind, they believe that even though I'm cheating on her, I still love her. I'm telling you, this whole thing is just like church, that people believe there's a Holy Ghost that only they can see and interact with, even though you can't see and perceive it with your senses. People believe that there's an invisible man in the sky, even though you cannot perceive it with your senses, even though people are going to outer space. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if there's two ways to look at it. There's the external, you're cheating on this person. There's no way you can love him. There's no way you can love her. But in the person's mind, they say, you know what? I cheated, or I'm cheating. I'm wrong, but I still love him. Oh yeah, by the way, God forgives and only God can judge me. And they believe it. So it's true. Now
Well, I'm a Christian, so I'm not down with the anti-church part, but I will say this: collective hysteria is still hysteria.
Okay, so you believe in God, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe that God can actually click the StreamYard link and come on the panel?
No.
Why not?
I mean, you'd have to create an account. There's so much that God would have to do.
God can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Or I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. If he's almighty and all powerful, why can he not create an account, click the StreamYard link and come on the panel? Why could he not do that?
Because that's never how it works. That's never how it works in the Bible.
No, but see, the Bible days are in the past. That's in the past. So right now, today, October 29, 2023, why can God not click the StreamYard link and come on the panel?
Well, I suppose, because I guess you don't have to have an account.
You do. Well, you have to have an account, but I mean, why wouldn't he be able to create an account and do that?
How did we get here to this conversation?
No, because he came in with that anti-Christian, anti-church stuff.
But we were talking about love.
Right. So what I'm saying is love is in someone's head and someone's body. Because if you believe that you love someone, even though you're hurting them, you actually can believe it, even though we can look at it and say that it's not what it is. I used an example of the belief in like a deity is the same thing as a belief in love.
Well, okay, let's look at honest truth and Omnipre's situation. Honest Truth stated over and over again that he loved Rory, but he was very, very abusive towards her. So we all know that was not love.
It could be mental illness. It could be
he really thought that he loved her, you know?
Yeah, he thought he loved her, even though he's abusing her. He might believe that he actually loves her. And I mean, to a certain extent, if he believes it and he, it's true
You're
to him.
saying, who are we to deny that he does?
Right. We
Right.
can say
But
abusive.
we see
But we
what
see
he's
his
doing.
actions.
Right. And we know that is not love.
Well, okay, when you think about it, what is love then?
Love is
Damn, because we already said that it's unique for everyone. Express.
Exactly.
right.
It's for everyone. That's the point I'm trying to make.
It's the feeling of being protective of that person, wanting to take care of that person, wanting to just be a comfort to that person and encourage them, and you're looking after that person's well-being. You care about that person's well-being. When you're doing the opposite of those things, that is not love.
All three of us will have a different definition of love, because love is different for each of us because we perceive it to be different. There is no actual there is no universal this is love for everybody, because love for me could be different for Faith and could be different for AGZP.
Okay, well, just my 4 cents says
What?
Priscilla was out the military for fake paperwork. Saint and sinner exposed that.
Shut up! You lie.
No way. I didn't watch that stream because
You
I don't like that
lie.
dude. But
You know what?
if
I'm gonna
you
have to
not
watch that
lying,
stream.
if you not lying, I'm gonna go check it out.
I'm gonna check it out too. That's crazy. I just got off the Beta Rails panel, and then even when I was talking to Mela, I was saying that there's no way you could be pursuing a 4-year degree and then have been an officer in the past. It's impossible. Wow, I called it.
She need to
But
focus
go
on
back to
that
love.
degree. Microbiology ain't no joke.
So everybody's definition of love is different, and one person's love can't really necessarily trump someone else's. So all three of us could have different views on love, and we all can be right. Because, like, to me, love is a strong feeling of warm personal attachment or deep affection. It could also be passionate affection, often mingled with sexual desire. So that's love. So it's possible for two things to be right at the same time. And, in your words, Faith, a broke clock is right twice a day. So it's possible for you to abuse someone, which is a crime, DV, but it still is possible for you to love that person if that's what you feel in your head. Now, I'm not justifying violence. I'm not saying to stay with someone who does you like that. If anyone's experiencing anything where someone's hurting you with financial abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, I think you should leave. However, I'm going to say that based off of the definition of love and the fact that it's all in someone's head, it is possible not only for men to be capable of love, but for men to love and also have negative feelings and negative actions towards someone. When you spank your child and you're using corporal punishment, some will say that corporal punishment is abuse, whereas other people will say spare the rod, spoil the child. Both people are right because it's all about your belief system, your tradition, your religion, where you grew up, how you grew up, etc. So if you decide to use corporal punishment for your child, where someone else considered that to be abuse, both parents can still love that child. It's not this parent using corporal punishment does not love their child. No, they love their child. They're just trying to rear their child into a particular direction. I grew up with corporal punishment. I've never been to jail, never been arrested, never done anything that's like a crime. I think the corporal punishment was a part of that, but I also understand how corporal punishment can mess you up. Two things can be right at the same time. And
so we going to justify corporal punishment, which is a parent disciplining a child, to abuse of an adult, two adults abusing each other, or one adult abusing another adult.
Well, abuse is abuse. I'm not justifying or rationalizing anything. Abuse is abuse. It's just that one abuse is considered okay, the other is considered not. You go over there to Saudi Arabia or you go over there to the Middle East, they have a different view on what abuse is as opposed to over here in the West. And no matter whether something's abuse or not, it's still possible for someone to love someone if that is what they deem to be what they're going to do. I'm not justifying or rationalizing.
Love is not being overly possessive. Love is not being overly jealous of a person and jealous of a person. That's not love at all. Those things are toxic and it has nothing to do with love.
I agree.
It has everything to do with the need to control another human being, and that isn't love.
I agree. That is not a part of the definition of love. However, what you just described, which is controlling, toxic, dysfunctional, that is separate from love and separate from that definition. It's possible to feel
it's abuse.
It's abuse. It's possible to abuse and still in your mind be feeling love.
In the person's mind, they could think that it's love, but they're crazy.
They're crazy, right? I agree.
Right.
So we're on the same page.
We're all on the same page now.
We're on the same page. Right. It's abuse.
No, it's not love.
It's not love.
Whoever thinks that abuse is love is crazy.
Right. Abuse is not love. They're two separate things. So we're on the same page. We can hold hands. We can hold hands and run into the field now.
What we don't want is for people to leave the faith factor thinking that abuse is love.
I agree.
All right.
I completely agree.
All right, guys. Well, it's been great talking to you guys. And Mela, it has been a thorough pleasure having you up on the panel. You are a great addition to any panel. By the way, I loved having you up here. But guys, it's 3 hours. It's time for me to just go ahead and shut it down. So I want to go ahead and start getting the final thoughts. Excuse me, I can barely talk. So I'm
also,
go ahead
me and all my homies, hey, Geminis and myself, we're great for panels too. We are great for panels too. We don't want to be left out of the compliment.
Okay.
And that's my final thought. Thanks for having me, Faith. I'll come again. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, Demetrius, what are your final thoughts, my friend? And it's great having you up here.
For the love of God, for the love of yourself, please, 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 please watch other stuff than these gender war conversations. You might actually learn something. Also, read a damn book. Anyways, peace.
Peace. All right, guys. Well, that has been the show. That is my time. And as a disclaimer, the Faith Factor show today was not a show where anybody has any type of credentials, and we're not trying to be therapists or any professionals. This is for entertainment purposes only, and fair use, fair use. But I just wanted to say I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being up with me this early in the morning. And with that, I've got to say, peace. And I am out of here. Holla.